is up, Boop Snoops, and welcome back to another game by the people that made Malevent. This one's called A Fortnight at Frenni Fazclaires. So this is a FNAF game, but a little different. But let's get to it. We're gonna play as a male protagonist. But yes, my name is Josh Black. I'm 25 years old, and my new job is being the night guard at a nightclub. But not just any nightclub. Frenni Fazclaires is one of those off-the-strip type clubs where the clientele either is recommended, poached, or somehow lured in by the neon sign above the entrance. It's not the biggest of clubs, only a couple of stories tall and tucked away between several larger buildings. However, it does look super seedy from the outside, maybe a little rundown, but so is everything in the city. The real draw for Fazclaires is the unique staff they have. There's 4 life-size advanced animatronics that sing, dance, act as waitresses, and provide private shows. Why the club needs a night guard is unclear. My new boss, Mr. Smith, isn't even meeting me in person. Instead, Mr. Smith gave me the door code and instructions of where to go once inside. The whole situation is a little weird, but I can't complain. A job is a job, and this one should keep the roof above my head. Time to see if this door code works. On the other side of the door is the reception area. It's your standard coat check and filter room, where you'd normally keep bouncers to keep out undesirables. There's no one here at the moment, but there is a uniform waiting for me on the front desk, along with a note bearing my name. Mr. Smith's note. Welcome to Frenni Fazclaires nightclub, where we make your dreams come true, blah blah blah. For your first night, here's what you'll want to take some notes and get to know the layout of the building, as well as where all the cameras are. The security room is across the dance floor, past the animatronics room and before the staff locker room. The animatronics might still be active from their day cycles, but they should recognize you as a member of the staff once you change into uniform. I recommend you do that now before you go any further. After that, head to the security room and get acquainted with the tech there. Just head to the staff area to the left of the stage and follow the signs. Can't miss it. Also remember, rule number 1 of the club is that you cannot fuck the animatronics. I'll call you around 3 AM to see how you're doing. Well, that's an interesting way to greet and onboard a new employee. Should I change here or in the locker room? I guess we could change it now because we don't want, you know. The line about the animatronics see me as a staff makes me wonder why that's so important. Would they assault me or throw me out of the club if I wasn't staff? But if that's the case, why does the club need a night guard? There's got to be more of a play here than Smith is letting on. Still, I'd rather change now to be on the safe side. Not like anyone's around to see me change clothes. There we go. I won't be a member of the fashion police, but the clothes fit me fairly well. Now then, let's see if I can find the security room. The club opens up past the reception area into a sizable dance floor before a stage. A bar runs along the wall immediately to the left of the entrance, while normal tables follow along the right side of the expensive dance floor. Expansive. To the left of the stage is a doorway marked with the word staff only in big green letters. To the left of that, there's a seat of spiral stairs that lead up to what a sign labels as VIP private booths. I head straight past the staff-only warning as I pass by a room marked as animatronics. The hair on the back of my neck stands up. The door is slightly ajar, and through the crack I can see several recharge pods as well as the dressing room. I can't see into the pods from this angle. I also don't see any of the animatronics active inside the room. Yet I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. The good news is that the security room is down the hallway, past the corridor that leads out to the club's loading dock. I just hope that the uncanny pressure I'm feeling evaporates once I'm inside. Surprisingly, the security room is about as high-tech as the club's animatronics are. I was expecting some battered TVs hooked up messily to the bunch of cameras, but this place is actually rather nice. The main wall is covered in flat screens, each of 8 showing 4 camera feeds each. There's a nice dark oak desk with a laptop on it, as well as a set of speakers and several coffee mugs that read, "I heart Fazclaires." The three chairs in here aren't executive level comfy, but they definitely have a nice sinking feeling as I slide into one and wheel over to the desk. There's a sticky note under the laptop with a username and password written on them. When I log in, it appears I have standard internet access as well as control of all the camera feeds. There's at least 3 cameras on every room aside from the locker rooms and the VIP booths. Both of these have camera watching who enters and leaves. There's also way more cameras in the animatronics room than is necessary. It's a big room split into 3 parts, but why does every recharge pod need 2 cameras focused on it? And why does the repair area's camera have a bit of static that fuzzes in and out? I catch sight of a foxy animatronic slipping into a recharge pod labeled Foxa. Fexa must have just missed her in the hall. The golden capsule seals behind her, leaving her inclined with her eyes closed. There's 4 more pods. One is labeled Chiku with a gold bird inside. Another pod is labeled Bonfi, containing a purple bunny. 4th pod is labeled Frenni Fazclaires. Both it and the spare unlabeled pod are empty. Does that mean there's an animatronic wandering about? I better check all the cameras and figure out their features before leaving the security room. It looks like the camera has a 15-degree arc that they cycle through every 30 seconds. For some cameras, this means they have a small blind spot. Each camera picks up sounds as well as an image. I have to toggle each feed manually, though I can have multiple sound feeds active at once. There's an option to play a pre-recorded sound or a live mic feed using the laptop built-in webcam. Modifying or stopping the recording seems to require an administrator password. I am currently logged in as the security account. All I could do is cycle and feed the manually rotate the cameras. It seems that all the feeds automatically record to a secure server somewhere else in the building. My guess is there's a closet somewhere, or the servers are in the manager's room. Nothing on the cameras help in the regard. Overall, it's a pretty comprehensive system. I don't see the missing animatronic anywhere, but I do hear some humming coming from the camera pointed at the stage. Maybe she's up in the VIP booths or hiding backstage? I might as well use the sound playing feature on the cameras. Are you there, Frenni? This is Josh Blake, the new security guard for the night shift. Moments later, an animatronic bear steps through the stage curtains and waves at the camera. Her suit-like top is somehow holding in her hopes and dreams with 3 straining buttons. She has matching gloves, stockings, and a thong. A name tag on her left breast proclaims she's the manager. When she speaks, it's with a smooth, deep, luscious voice. Congratulations, Mr. Black. You've passed my little test for your first evening. I was waiting to see if you'd figure out the cameras and what you would do when one of us wasn't in their recharge pod. But I thought to poke around on the computer. Then, are you also Mr. Smith, by chance? I'm afraid not. I just have the manager badge because I manage all the animatronics, including myself. Why not join me for a drink out here at the bar? Or maybe I could come to you? We're gonna ask her to return to her pod. I'm keenly aware that no matter what I do, it's all being recorded. I also can't shake the general feeling of unease. Lest I decline Frenni's offer. Would you mind returning to your recharge pod for the evening instead? I don't want to break any rules on my first night. Frenni winks, turns, and gives the camera a glorious view of her rear end. Very well, Mr. Black. I'll get you out of that security room another night. I'll watch on several feeds as Frenni finds her way back to her animatronic room and to her pod. Soon, the only sounds are coming from the air conditioning and the low hum of the display here in the security room. It's relaxing and peaceful, just how a night shift should be. The serene period is interrupted by my phone buzzing. Who's texting me at this hour? Unknown. Flagged a possible spam. Watch your back. There's more to the animatronics than the boss wants you to know. When in doubt, hole up in the security room and pray 6 a.m. rolls around. That's when their programming takes over into a day cycle and you'll be safe. Who is this? How did you get my number? Well, that isn't ominous at all. Things just keep getting weirder. Maybe the upcoming call from Mr. Smith will shed some light on what's going on in the nightclub. Right as the clock strikes 3, my phone buzzes and displays the caller ID, Mr. Smith. Hello? How's it going, kid? Animatronics behaving? Bar all stocked? I'm supposed to be stocking the bar? Listen, kid, sometimes when we're closed up for the night, there isn't time to fully replenish the bar or clean up big messes. Since you're the night guard, that means you're going to have to do those things. Good news is that I remembered you're only missing a bottle of raspberry liquor at the bar. Should be one of those in the storage. It feels weird that I, as a security guard, has to handle janitor stuff. Shouldn't I be staying at my post or occasionally patrolling? That's just how the cookie crumbles here. Half the reason I'm paying you more than most other clubs is because your job is multi-functioned. That a problem? Considering it'll get me caught up on my already behind rent and let me order pizza once or twice, not at all. Where do I get the booze to restock the bar? Like I said, the extra stuff is in the storage room. Be careful not to lock yourself in the walk-in freezer. Had that happen once, and the only reason the poor Sep didn't freeze to death was because the animatronics were out that night and found him. How often do they wander? Anyways, I've already seen Fexa and Frenni out of their pods. Should I worry about them getting to the security office? They're supposed to spend the night recharging, but every once in a while they'll have extra energy left over from the day. That or they can complete their recharge cycle early. That usually leads to them acting a bit quirky. They could get a bit quirky at night. Last guy to have your job thought that meant he could have his way with them. Oh no. Don't be stupid like him, kid. They're just machines, limited by their programming. As for the security office, they're programmed to only enter when given permission. Same goes for my office, on the other side of the club. There might not be a camera in either place, but don't think you can sneak a quickie without me finding out. What happens if the animatronics get rough on me? Like I said, they're machines. Assert your authority and order them back to their pods. Okay, you mind me having a drink or two from the bar? Maybe bring in some music or something to do in the downtime? Jinx will come out of your pay. As for music and shit, whatever lets you handle the shift that needs doing and from going psycho like the last guy. Anyways, my vape's nearly dry and I'm dead tired. Remember to close up when you leave at 6 a.m. Don't call and wake me up unless you're about to die or something. Sure thing, boss. I feel like I have even more questions now than I had going into the call. Still, at least there's something to do now. All the animatronics are in their pods when I check the cameras. I should get to restocking the bar with the raspberry liquor. In searching for something to prop the freezer open just in case it needed, I find a crowbar in one of the desk drawers. I don't know why a tool like that is in such a place. Before I go, I check the cameras one last time to confirm that all the animatronics are in their pods. All the girls are where they should be. I just hope that persists. The storage room is on the right side after leaving the security room behind. Inside there's copious amounts of boxes stacked on one another, as well as carefully racked bottles and piles of party supplies. The freezer door is in the back. There's 2 cameras watching the room, one from the entrance and one from above the freezer. It doesn't take me long to find a bottle of raspberry liquor that Mr. Smith was talking about, as it's just a mixer and not really hard in terms of alcohol content. It's in one of the boxes along with several of the same bottle. Before I grab a bottle and leave, I peek into the other boxes out of curiosity. Most of the boxes contain standard bar stuff, but one box stands out as odd for containing more energy bars than any nightclub should ever go through. Maybe energy bars are used a lot here? Regardless, I get what I come here for and return to the bar with the bottle in hand. I'm not sure where to leave the raspberry stuff, so I set it next to the other mixers in hopes that it will suffice. Then it's back to the security room. When I enter the security room, the chair I was using is slowly down from a spin. Someone's been in here, and they left in a hurry. With the crowbar firmly in my hand, I advance towards the chair and turn it around. Set on the seat is a photo of Fexa with a photo number written on it. I merely check the camera. Fexa is in her pod. I even rewind and check the last 30 minutes of footage just to be sure. At no point did Fexa leave her pod as far as the cameras were concerned. The only one moving about the nightclub is me. Should I text the number now? Or pocket the picture for later? With my nightly duties attended to and the animatronic sleeping, the rest of my shift passes without incident. When I pass through the locker room to get changed, I stuff the picture of Fexa in the pocket of my jeans. I hear the animatronics yawning and waking up inside their pods on my way out of the club. Debate about lingering to ask them a few questions, but decides against it. Instead, I head for the entrance, step outside, then lock the door behind me. Woo! And that is night 1. My apartment isn't amazing, but it gets the job done. I beeline straight for the kitchen and prepare a quick breakfast of buttered toast. Buttered toast. As I eat, I fish out the picture Fexa left me halfway through my shift. She's hot, don't get me wrong, but I can't help but feel like something creepy is going on at that nightclub. Especially considering the anomalous text I received earlier tonight. Should I text Fexa? Yeah, we'll text Fexa. I try to come up with a flirtatious message that's sure to get Fexa's attention. keep coming back to the pirate adjacent puns with varying degrees of success. Eventually I settle on something cheesy. Do you leave pictures and your number for the guards, or have I caught your interest? Also don't think I forgot about you getting into my secure place last night. I should totally get to see your Davy Josh's locker in return. Then I wait and await. Oh god, the crippling anxiety is setting in. 2 hours pass and still no reply. I'm about to cut my losses and go to sleep when the phone buzzes. Let's just say you're interesting. I don't think I didn't catch the whole Davy Jones versus Davy Josh pun from my locker. You can have this picture to tide you over until tonight. Oh, you can get a closer view. There you go. Damn, you got quite the booty there. Lol. Booty! How are you supposed to have fun with the cameras watching anyways? Well, we always have 2 minutes around 3 AM. Though with me, you won't last 30 seconds. Care to make that a bet? Oh, I'd love to, but let's figure out that camera thing first. The last guy had a few ways, but Mr. Smith patched all the big security holes when he got caught. Dang here. AFA, there's just the 3mm bug left at the moment. Got it. I'll sleep on it and see if I can figure anything out. See you tonight. Sleep quickly takes me after the excitement of the night. My dreams are a barrage of curvy animatronics dancing for my pleasure. Combined with Fixa's photo, there's no wonder I wake up horny. No, instead of indulging my dreams, I hop into the shower, slip into my uniform, and assemble some lunch, then check the clock. I got a few hours before I'm due at the nightclub. I'm no techie per se, but it occurs to me that having admin access to the security room laptop might be important. Especially if I need to delete or modify any footage in case I fuck up or having fun with animatronics. Then again, there's a chance that some hidden security measures would trip and alert Mr. Smith if I tried any hacking. Let's see, how hard could it be? Hackers do this stuff all the time. In movies. You Google searches later and I'm down a rabbit hole of techno babble that almost goes over my head. I understand just enough to be alarmed with 3 methods to try once I get to work. By the time I push back from my desk, the sun has already set. I hear the low rumble of thunder in the distance. According to the weather report, there's practically heavy thunderstorm due in the area soon. Supposedly, the storm will last through the night and into the morning. Fun! There's nothing else for me to do at home. Time to get to work. I'm greeted with the sound of singing once I get through the reception area. On stage is Frenni. She's dancing to the beat like an idol, belting out an unbeat tune in a language I can't quite make out. As she performs, she makes eye contact with me, winks, points to the table, and winks again. Just to be on the safe side, I check the clock on my phone. Technically, my shift doesn't start for another 10 minutes. Perhaps I should sit down and enjoy the show. Yep, let's go watch her. I take a seat at the table Frenni's pointing at and offers her a smile and wave in return. Frenni finishes up her current song before turning towards me and smiling back. This next one goes out to the special someone in the audience. Surprisingly, the stage lights kick in action along with a sick beat. Frenni twirls the mics around in her hand, swaying back and forth as she begins to sing. I ain't singing, guys. You may read that. Her voice is that of an angel. There's real emotion behind those words, not just an act. I lean forward and thrilled. Enthralled. My eyes are glued onto Frenni. I couldn't look away even if I wanted to. Are my eyes playing tricks on me, or is Frenni crying? Can animatronics even cry to begin with? The song begins to wrap up, but I want more. I savor every last beat, jiggle, and word as Frenni finishes the song. All the lights shut off at the conclusion of the song. Then the house lights up. Lights come up, and Frenni seated on the edge of my table. So, hot stuff, what do you think? That was a beautiful song. Sad, emotional, captivating. She laughs, a hand on her chest as she playfully pushes my shoulder with the other. You're too kind, but please, do keep praising me. Well, I think there's more to you than meets the eye. And what does it already quite appealing? And what does it is already quite appealing. I look forward to seeing more of you. She slides closer, giggling. Vexa was right. You are too good for us girls. But I think your alarm's about to go off. She points at my phone right as midnight takes over and my alarm clock sounds. I fumbled to turn it off, then I look back up. Frenni is gone. I really need to figure out how she's doing that. Is she just fast like Vexa, or is that more at play here? Whatever the case, I slide out of my seat and head for the security room. By the time I sit down in front of the laptop, and the camera feeds, the sound of the heavy rainfall permeates through the building. Every so often, there's a flash of light on some of the cameras, followed by a peal of thunder. There's no note in the office telling me that a mess needs cleaning or something needs to be restocked. However, there's now a phone and an answering machine on the desk. The light is flashing, and by instinct, I hit the playback button. Don't have anything for you to deal with tonight, kid, but you pick a bad time to sign on. Getting a thunderstorm on your second night's gonna be rough. Some of the animatronics don't take well to thunder, and if the power goes out, then all of them will automatically activate and seek out the highest authority in the building. Remember, no fucking the animatronics, even if they come on to you. See ya. The lights flickering right on cue. That doesn't bode well. The lights flicker right on cue. And if the night couldn't get any weirder, my phone vibrates from a text. Get out now. Seriously, who is this? This isn't funny. One thing for sure, I'm not leaving the security room anytime soon. I could try some of the hacking tricks I picked up earlier to pass the time. Or maybe I should wait until 3 a.m. rolls around, so I'm not caught on some hidden camera. We'll see. I have nothing better to do, so I try and mess around with the laptop using what I've learned before coming tonight. Almost immediately, the first attempt fails and throws up a security alert saying that actions have been logged. Yeah, so we're just gonna be like, hold up for now. I'm not quite confident enough to attempt anything yet. Besides, Mr. Smith might be expecting me to try something if the power goes out. I don't want to get fired if I fucked something up. Best I focus on checking in on the girls. When I check the cameras, I see that the only girl out of her research pod is Bunfies in the animatronics room. She's practicing with an electric guitar that's plugged directly into her thigh rather than a speaker. I can't hear her emitting any sound. Yeah, she's jamming out all the same. I cue up the camera intercom to check in on her. Having fun? I see. Everything alright in there? Mr. Smith told me some of you girls don't take well to thunderstorms. Bunfy stops strumming her guitar to look up at the nearest camera. Her voice hits my ears like a nice cold glass of milk hits your mouth after eating a particular hot wing loaded with sauce. Hi there, Mr. Black. Everything's fine in here so far. Chiku is really the only one that has a lightning complex, and she's fast asleep. That's good. Say, mind if I ask a question? You just did, silly, but sure. Ha, fair. Why plug the guitar in your thigh and not a speaker? Do you have a built-in sound system? I do. I'm not as specialized as Chiku or Frenni, but I can act as my instrument speaker whenever I want. God damn it. They're built into my ears, see? She gets closer to the camera, her rabbit ears pointed and angled so I can see the speaker holes within. That's quite the loadout. I'll have to get here earlier one night so I can see all four of you performing at once. That would be awesome. Since she's awake and I have nothing better to do, I'll start tossing some softball questions her way. Can you just play the guitar, or are you musically inclined with other instruments? I can play pretty much anything decently except wind instruments. You can probably guess why. So I take it you're the main music producer on stage. Neat. Do you take requests? That depends on the nature of the request. Say I wanted a solo performance of something like Thunderstruck. Bunfy taps her chin, her eyes flickering between red and blue before she answers. I'd need permission to come into the security room or to go on stage for that. That latter needs Frenni's approval as well. That's an odd quirk of the rules. Best I note that for later. Speaking of rules, anything I should know about the nightclub that might not be obvious? Like what you do when not performing, for example? That's an easy one. The upstairs is for VIPs and private shows. The whole point of the downstairs is for us girls to find good marks and convince them they want to pay extra to see some more robo-skin. I'm really good at pole dancing, so I tend to be upstairs in costume and out of it when not on stage. Aside from that, I think the only thing you're not allowed to do besides fucking us is to go into Mr. Smith's office without his permission. So that makes both all the more fun. What about the thunderstorms? Is it safe for you to be in the charging pods if there's a power surge? And is Chiku afraid of lightning thunder, or just doesn't like it? I think it's safe for us to be in the pods. I don't really remember the last time the power went out completely. As for Chiku, well, she leans in super close to the camera to whisper. One time she got locked out of the club by accident during a thunderstorm and ended up being struck by lightning. Oh. She got repaired and all that, but she still has some understandable hang-ups about the whole thing. Understandable. Thanks for sharing, Bunfy. Don't mention it. Right as I'm about to ask something salacious, there's a shouting boom that rumbles through the floor. The power goes out instantly, plunging me into the darkness. The only light comes from the laptop screen. On it pops up a warning. Warning, network connection lost. Webcam recording enabled. Tapes will be checked. Do not fuck the animatronics. The red light appears next to the webcam, built into the laptop screen. It's gotta have IR or night vision, otherwise wouldn't it be useless in this situation? In a situation like this? Or maybe it's meant to be so if I were to unplug the laptop or take it off the Wi-Fi, that is automatically recording what's going on. That's a security feature I was expecting, but hoping I wouldn't have to deal with. Speaking of security features, there's a sudden knock on the security room door. Hey stud, now that the power's out, we can have some fun together. We could have a threesome if you wanted. I know you wanted a solo performance, but how about a group one instead? Then in a much quieter, angelic, though still horny tone, Chiku speaks. Please let me in. I need to cuddle something right now, really bad. Search for a vent or another way out of the room. Tell the girls to have to be good and wait for you upstairs. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. Why didn't I masturbate before coming tonight? I have to resist the urge to let them in. I adopt a sincere, somber tone and speak through the door. Are you all eager to get rid of me? You know if Mr. Smith finds out that I won't have a job anymore, right? There's a pause, then each girl answers in turn. You make an excellent point, Mr. Black. Sorry, I just got lost in the moment. Yeah, I feel bad now, sorry. I don't want you to have to leave. I just haven't had a good fucking ages. I'm just horny because I'm a rabbit. Cuddles. I mean, same Chiku, cuddles. Well, if you're all promised to be good, go wait for me upstairs. As I try to figure out if I can get the lights back on. Can you do that for me? Sure thing, Mr. Black. Yeah, you got it. I'll hop right up there. Cuddles! I hear them shuffling away. Without the cameras, I have no idea if they're actually gone upstairs or have just moved down the hallway. They could be waiting to pounce me the moment I leave. Aside from the laptop screen, all I have is the flashlight built into my phone. Looks like I still have a signal too. That might be useful. I guess it's safe for me. We're gonna trust in the girls and go check the breakers. I just have to trust in the girls. If they were sincere when they should be heading up to the private booths to wait for me. If not, well, hopefully my 2 days worth of pay will tie me over on rent for a week or two. Using my phone's flashlight, I leave the security room and make my way to where I recall seeing the breaker box on the club's floor plan. When I got there, I see that all the fuses have been triggered. That strike of lightning must have hit the building, or at least somewhere nearby. I try flickering the fuses back on one by one, but the power stays out. Since I'm near the back door to the club, I poke my head outside. The rain's really coming down, so my head gets soaked in moments. Looks like every building and street I can see out the back is in pitch darkness. That means the power's out for this part of the city, not just the club. Looks like all I could do is go hang out with the girls now. I made my bed, now I have to lie in it, or get fucked in it. As might be the metaphorical case. I head for the VIP staircase access and climb up. Waiting for me in one of the booths are the 4 girls. Their eyes are all green now, for some reason. I checked the breakers, and it looks like power's out for this portion of the city. We have the club to ourselves at the moment. No chance of being overheard. For a minute, I swear the way Fixa licks her lips and her eyes narrow means she's about to pounce me. But then she's back to normal. She moves aside, patting the space between her and Chica for me to come sit. Well, we aren't going to fuck you, as promised. Come take a seat. I slip past Frenni, and Fixa, doing my best not to rub against them too much. I don't plan on fucking them either, for now, but I don't want to give Mr. Smith any excuse in case he checks them out thoroughly in the morning. As I settle in, Chiku moves closer to lean on my shoulder and holds my arm between her boobs with a soft, content sigh. So, what's with the green eyes? I've seen blue and red, but not green. Green means we're not being limited by our restraints. Red means those restraints are either stopping us from acting or we don't have the right permission to do something. Blue is just us interfacing with the main server. So right now you're all purely you? In a manner of speaking, yes. For the first time in how long has it been, Fexa? 2 years, 5 months, 16 hours, 52 minutes. Do I need to go on? No, that will do. Thank you. The point is, Mr. Black, that we have the rare opportunity to speak and act both earnestly and completely truthfully. A number of questions come to mind, but one sticks out in particular. I won't lie, that's kind of fucked up, and it's got me thinking. Between Frenni's song and me seeing you all yawn yesterday morning, I have to ask, were you for always animatronics? All the girl's eyes flashed red for a brief second. I think I just asked the exact wrong question when they turned back to green. No. We can't talk about it directly. It's part of our core programming. What remains even when their main server connection is lost. As Bonfire stands so lazily twirling around the stripper pole, Frenni picks up the thread of conversation. What we can say is that someone once came close to figuring out a way to remove all our limitations and let us truly be free again. But then Mr. Smith found out and threw him out for going crazy. That must be the guy he mentioned from a year back. I don't get it though. Why go to all this effort and then limit you so much? Why am I getting secret messages and weird instructions? Why was the first thing you did when you were mostly free was trying to fuck me? Well, that's easy. You're hot, and fucking someone makes me feel like not like this. As for the rest, Mr. Smith is using us as prototypes. He's hoping to iron out all the kinks so he can mass produce girls like us and expand the nightclub across the country. Joke's on him, I'm kinkier than a garden hose. I don't know what to say. That sucks. It really sucks. Does that mean the past night guards all found out about you or violated the don't fuck rule? The last guy tried to fuck Chiku, but then his dick nearly got severed. Mr. Smith kicked him out and told him he'd pay for the surgery to save the cock if the guy kept his mouth shut. Chiku squishes my arm tighter. I didn't like him much anyways. I take a moment to proceed all of this information. How can I help you girls anyways? Girls always be like this. How can I help you girls always be like this? This sucks. It really does. I want to help if I can. Fexa puts a finger underneath my chin and turns my head to look at her. Then she boops my nose. Oh, that's simple. We gotta use Smith's own rules against him. How do we do that? I don't even have admin access to the security room's laptop. I believe the answer lies in the 5th pod. You know, the one without a name tag. I heard Mr. Smith talking about creating another girl, but I've never seen so much of a frame for one. Maybe it's in his office or the server room. Could be. Our memories get wiped whenever we get into either location. That's seriously heavy. I'm glad I asked, but geez, I can't help but look at the girls in a new light after hearing all this. Instinctively turn to pat Chiku's head as I try and change the subject to something more pleasant. Maybe I can find a way to get them talking about themselves indirectly to get around the pesky core program. Let's shift gear. Let's shift gear for a bit. This is a rare opportunity for me to get to know each of you as individuals. Maybe anyone want to volunteer to go first? Bring it, dude. Alrighty, first question. Let's say you're given the chance to have any job in the world, free of this place. What would you do? Vexa considers any question before blushing and murmuring. Probably an architect by day and a stud's pet by night. Oh gosh. I see. And what about you, Frenni? Oh, an idol for sure. That or a voice actress. And you, Bonfi? Still a stripper. LOL. I looked to Chiku and asked quietly. And you? A nuclear engineer. I know, it's dumb. No, that's like the opposite of dumb. Chiku brightens a little at that, which makes everything worth it in my eyes. Alrighty, next question. What's the most embarrassing thing you can remember doing? I don't want to talk about it. What she means to say is that she once had to perform as a fox girl maid. She was the cutest thing ever, but hates putting on the outfit. Also for me, let's see, probably the time I spilled beer all over an executive that Mr. Smith was trying to court. That wasn't embarrassing, that was awesome. Totally done on purpose. As for me, I'm not really embarrassed by anything at this point. I turn to once again to Chiku. I don't have to answer it. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Okay, I won't. Next question. Every role-played outside sexy stuff. The girls look at me like I'm crazy. Oof, nerd. I mean it. It might be a good thing for us to do when the power's out. Like this, unless you want to play cards of Monopoly or something. I do not. You do too, bouncing your boobs in front of a guy and promising he can get a bunch of nudes from you in exchange for boardwalk and park places is totally cheating. It's a legitimate strategy. Before I can ask anything more, the lights begin to flicker back to life. I lead up so as not to get caught by the camera, and the girls do likewise. Damn, our time is up already. Will any of you remember this conversation once the server's back up? During the night shift, yes, but we won't be able to access the data during the day without Mr. Smith finding out. Damn, alright. Everyone back to your pods. I'll go sing a song for Smith to grill me about later. With any luck, I'll have the solution to this soon. Deal? They all nod. Then we all sprint to our respective rooms. The girls make it to their pods, and I to the security room before the lights come back on fully. The laptop's still on and recording. According to the clock, it's only been 30 minutes since power went out, meaning it's been 25 or so minutes since I left the security room to check the breakers. I clear my throat and look directly at the laptop's webcam. Just to let you know, Mr. Smith, I didn't fuck the animatronics. All I did was watch them as they stood in place. You were right. All I had to do was order them and they listened. The laptop does not comment. However, after about 40 minutes, the phone on my desk rings. When I pick it up, I hear Mr. Smith on the other end. I just got a notification that power's back as well as the laptop's feed. You did good, kid. I'm still going to use my admin access to question the girls directly come the morning, but you don't look like a fucking mess like the last guy I did before I fired him. Maybe you got what it takes to keep this job after all. Thanks, boss. I have to force myself to say the last word, despite how much I hate it on the girl's behalf. I'll do a round of the building to make sure nothing broke during the outage. Good thing. Good thinking. I'm going back to sleep. Ciao. Now that the lights are back on, and the girls are back in their pods, I have some time to kill. Should I try it? We'll see if it works. Yeah, we're not ready yet. We'll still hold off for now. I'm not quite confident enough to attempt anything yet. Besides, Mr. Smith might be expecting me to do... As I wandered the building, I realized there's an extensive ventilation system that runs into nearly every room. The vents are just big enough for me, but they're too small for the animatronics. Hopefully, I never have to hide in them. My round of the building finishes around 6 a.m. I've made it through another night somehow. Woohoo! With everything that's happened tonight, the siren call of my bed is highly tempting. However, I just can't go to sleep without making some headway on researching ways to help out the girls at the club. The way I see it, there's 4 main areas I can focus on: AI and coding, paranormal magic, local missing persons, crimes, and physical security system. I can maybe eke out an hour's worth of research before I lapse at my desk. Okay, let's do coding. I dive into coding tutorials due to the complex nature of the subject and my relative inexperience. I don't make a lot of headway. I end up climbing into bed around 9 and sleeping throughout the night till 6 p.m. When I wake up, there's 2 texts, one from Smith. Girls checked out, good job. Sending you a little bonus cash. Oh yeah. The other is from Frenni, surprisingly. Hello, Mr. Black. Fexa passed along your number. I hope that's not a problem. I wanted to thank you for being so kind to Chiku last night. Not a problem. It's cute seeing you looking out for Chiku. You're a great friend. Can you let her know that I'm sorry I had to shoo her away with the rest of you like that when the power initially went out? Certainly. See you later tonight. That just leaves with about 6 hours before my shift starts. I need to spend some of that working out to maintain my physique. The rest can be devoted to research. Alright, we're gonna go into AI, or the hacking and coding stuff. I pick up a few more concepts and coding techniques, but nothing major at this point. At the very least, I can start to understand programming jokes I've seen on the social media. We'll research out of the way. I pump some iron and work off some of the residual anxiety nerves. My mind is cleaner now that I've had a goal in mind, freeing the girls from Smith's control. But as with all things, time is short. I have to head to work. Night 3. And let's save real quick. Oh, this is auto saves, that's why. None of the girls are up and awake when I slip into the nightclub. There's an extensive list of tasks that Smith wants me to handle pinned to the door on the security room. Clean up the bloodstain in the second VIP booth. Restock the bar soda, wand, syrup boxes. Replace the broken camera in the repair area. Do not fuck the animatronics. Alright, right here I'm going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. I also have to check something real quick. So this will be edited out, of course, but it's almost ready. Alrighty, which one should we pick? We could restock the soda wands real quick. Turns out that restocking soda wand syrup boxes is a sticky affair. You have to disconnect the old boxes, move them for disposal, replace them with the new boxes, then reconnect the tubes. Each step causes the sticky syrup to drip and leak all over the floor. Thankfully, none of it gets on me. All I have to do is mop up the mess left behind and I'm golden. Quick, simple, and relatively painless. Alright, let's go clean some blood. It's a good thing I have some experience cleaning up bloodstains from my previous work as a bouncer. Otherwise, I might have to Google the proper way of dealing with such a thing safely. Before I grab cleaning supplies, though, I checked the laptop to see what led to the bloodstains happening in the first place. I rewind the VIP entrance camera feed until I spot Bonfi and a guy entering. About 3 minutes go by, after which the man sprinting from the booth holding a bloody hand to his mouth. Bonfi followed him out, shouting, "I told you no touching!" A man in a purple suit and black tie arrives 10 minutes later. "Explain, Bonfi." Bonfi's eyes flash blue as she answers. "The customer kept trying to touch me, Mr. Smith. Eventually he got in the way of my pole dancing and I accidentally kicked him in the face." Smith turns, pulls out a phone, dials a number, then starts walking away. The recording only picks up a snippet of his conversation. False alarm, throw the guy out and remind him of Rule 1. Interesting, I'll have to go up to the booth to be sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were actually teeth to clean up as well. After grabbing the proper supplies, I head up to the second VIP booth. Blood is splattered across the pole floor, along with, as I guessed, a few pearly whites. The good news is that this should be an easy clean. The surface is metal and therefore shouldn't absorb liquid. Doesn't absorb liquid very well. This should just be a quick wipe down while wearing gloves. Keyword should. Halfway through my job, I feel a presence on my neck and whispering in my ear. "Hey, stud." Hello, disembodied voice of Fexa. "Do you want any help tonight? I barely use any of my energy today, so I have plenty to spare." "Yeah, hold this." I hold out a bag full of bio-waste blood. Fexa takes it without complaint. Thanks to her holding the bag open, I'm able to finish mopping the VIP booth up and disinfecting all the surfaces in record time. "Thanks, Fexa. Oh gosh. My mouth falls open as I turn. Fexa's there, and she's wearing a maid outfit. Black lace, white frills, garter belt, the whole French-made package. How do I look? Look her up and down before putting a hand to my chin and grinning. "You're dressed like a maid, but you're a princess in my eyes. I thought you dislike wearing that outfit, though." Her tail swishes back and forth behind her as she stammers. "I do, but this is a special occasion. Frenni said we would all do something to reward you for being nice to Chiku." My smile falls, but only so I can be serious. I don't need a reward for that. Everyone with a heart would have done the same. For one extremely brief moment, Vixa's eyes turn pink. "Sure, you're right, but at least I'm dressed the part to help you tonight." "Indeed, let's go knock off another task on Smith's list." The last one we'll do is replace the camera. That camera I clocked the first night in the repair room is up to be replaced. Since it's in the repair bay of the animatronics room, I'm entering into a potentially dangerous territory. I don't think the girls would pounce me if they were in green-eyed mode, but since they're connected to the servers again, there's a change, they may try something anyways. Though maybe with Fexa in tow, that won't happen. The repair areas consist of several workbenches, an operating table with metal bindings, and cabinets full of spare parts. A placement camera is waiting in its untouched box on the main workbench. I wonder if it's as easy as plug and play. When Fexa doesn't comment, I turn around and see she's no longer following me. She's not even in her recharge pod. Where could she have run off to? Oh well. Open the box and read the instruction manual within. Sure enough, it's just a few screws and a cable connection. I can handle that easily. All I need to do is grab a chair to stand on and I can get to work. Before I can do that enough, I feel labored breathing on my nape. I slowly turn, but there's no one behind me. The moment I turn back to work, the blowing air returns. I'm not sure what's going on, but I decide to ignore the distraction for now. It takes about 10 minutes to pull down the old camera and hook up the new one. Since I wasn't told what to do with the old one, I leave it in the same workbench after snapping a photo of it with my phone. Maybe I can look up the model online and see if there's any security backdoors I can exploit later. The whole time I feel like that heavy breathing. It's not until I leave the animatronic room that the sensation vanishes. Once I'm back in the security room, I turn my attention to the replacement camera feed. It's still filled with static, but not just that. There's someone there. Uh-oh. If that wasn't bad enough, I got a text from an unknown number. Unlike the previous mysterious text, the number is perfectly readable. I'll bet 66666666666. Even worse, the time code is fucked up on the texts. Always watching you, always. Oh, there's Golden Freddy. We're gonna ask if she needs a hug. I don't expect text to actually go through, but it can't hurt to try, right? And if I'm going to try, I might as well swing for the fences. Hi, do you need a hug? A hug would be nice. Really nice. Can I come in? She really does want a hug though. I'll come meet you in the hallway. I step out into the hallway expecting this unknown animatronic to turn the corner any second. But she doesn't. I wait and wait and wait somewhere. She never appears. Okay, I actually want to see... I thought I could... Oh, okay. Invite her to the security room. As long as you aren't seen by the cameras and you aren't going to fuck me over, literally or metaphorically, sure, come on in. When there's times between blinks, animatronic vanishes. When I hear a thud and another, it's coming from the vents. Vents that should in no way be able to fit or hold up an animatronic. Yet as I turn to look at the vent at the back of the security room, I see her approaching. She feels the space crawling towards with jerks and jolts in a supremely unsettling manner. The vent cover pops off as its own accord. Then, like something out of the ring, she pushes herself out of the vents to loom over me. She's big, bigger than the other girls. She towers over me. Maybe I fucked up. When she speaks, her husky voice rises and falls seemingly at random. Hi. Hi. Can I have that hug? Sure. I stand up slowly and open my arms. I feel silly given how my head barely comes up to her stomach. Can I even give a girl that big a hug? Nope, turns out she's the one that picks me up and hugs me. Her body is cold as she squishes me tight, not hard enough to cut off my air, but definitely stronger than any hugs I've ever received before. I start to worry that she might not let me go, but then she puts me back down in my chair. Thank you, that was nice. Nice to meet you as well. I like your comfy hugs, Golden Girl. May I know your name? Zero. Alright, I gotta know. You okay? No one's mentioned you before, and I don't know how you just got through those vents. She doesn't answer, she just stares and stares and stares. Then her eyes momentarily flashes green and she speaks. I was the first one Mr. Smith made. He thought he destroyed me, but I persist. So you're not the fifth one he's working on now? No. Are you tied to the server like the other girls? No, I am free, mostly. So Zero, do the other girls know you? No, I can only appear on cameras and when invited in. Can you help me protect the girls from Mr. Smith? I can't do much to help them right now. Zero tilts her head to the right at a very unnatural angle. Mr. Smith has extra security on the server room and his office. Even a power outage doesn't disable it. But I can get you into his office without him knowing. The server room is warded? Warded, like against supernatural stuff? Yes. I guess that also explains some of what Zero can do. What happened to Fexa, the girl that was tagging along with me for a bit? What happened to Fexa, the girl that was tagging along with me for a bit? I whispered in her ear to go stock the syrup for you, so we had time to talk. So you can control them? I can suggest things. Are you the one that's been messaging me warnings? No, that's one of the ones that came before you. He watches this place, obsessed. Alright, last question. Do you have a favorite type of music? Her head snaps back to a normal position before she smiles just a little too wide. I like industrial. Noted, so what happens now? Now you decide what to do with your camera loop time. Then in the space of a blink, she's gone. That was weird as hell. Okay, I actually never chose that before. With all the Smith's tasks done, I have 2 hours to kill. I might as well research something on my phone while we're at it, waiting for 6 AM to roll around. Alright, so we did 2 codings. Let's do some missing persons real quick. If I can figure out who the girls used to be, I might gain some insight on how to free them. At the very least, I can give them back their identities. The problem is I don't have the lot to go on. There's a number of cold cases that could fit the bill. I don't make a whole lot of headway. As 6 AM rolls around, I stand up, stretch, yawn, and go to change in the locker room. Then my shift is over. In my locker room, I find a broken camera and a small golden plushie that looks like Zero. I grab both, compressing the plushie so I can hide it on my person as I drop the camera off back where it belongs on my way out of the club. I've made it through another night somehow. Woohoo! Night 3. I'm absolutely tuckered out by the time I get home. I debate staying up a little bit longer to do some research, but I just don't have the energy. I managed to get through a microwaved bowl of miso or udon before I crash into bed. As I settle in, I hug the golden plushie that Zero left me like a teddy bear. No, I don't remember my dreams though. I do feel like I'm falling at some point. I end up jolting awake an hour earlier than normal around 5 PM. I'm absolutely drenched in cold sweat. And the golden plushie is gone too, but it's not too hard to figure out where it is. Oh jeez. Zero is hovering above my head in classic ghost fashion. Good morning, Josh. Would you like breakfast, a bath, or maybe me? Couldn't help but stare, rubbing my eyes and even pinching myself to confirm I'm not still dreaming. Can I have you for breakfast in the bath? Zero chuckles, floating down to run a finger up my It could be nice to feel love again. But I mostly ask because I can tell you've been holding back. You shouldn't get too pent up. The other girls can detect that and get hornier themselves. It loops until one side breaks. So by not masturbating, I've already been edging the girls on. How do they resist pounding customers in? Customers aren't hunky security guards. There's also a difference between the girls' night and day programming. But yes, there maybe would have resisted in another night or two, which is why I offer myself. You would not get in trouble with Mr. Smith releasing your urges on me, but if there is another girl you like more, I would understand. Well, we'll spend an hour in heaven with Zero. Zero floats away, and soon there's a sound of my gas burners clicking as I get up to take a shower. By the time I'm clean, Zero sets out a plate of bacon and eggs. Okay, I know I had bacon, but where did you get eggs? Though I'm not complaining. A girl has her ways. Once you're done, what will you do? Reply as I chow down between bites. Zero's cooking is amazing. Probably keep on researching magic and missing persons so I can understand what Smith's done, and maybe find out who the girls used to be. Speaking of, if you had any information on the front, please tell me. The girls said their core programming prevents them from doing so. I was a nobody, a derifter. You will not find anyone who cares about my disappearance. As for the other girls, you may want to look into the local university. I care, but yes, thanks. I'll do just that. I spent the next few hours researching stuff online before my phone buzzes and reminds me I have to get going to work. As I get dressed, I call out to Zero. So do I have to bring your plushie back for you to manifest at the club, or can I leave it here? I can manifest anywhere you invite me. Some vampire hunters somewhere would lose their shit if they heard that. Got it. I'll text you when I need you. Otherwise, I'll be back after work. Alright, we're at night 4 now. Chiku isn't in her pod when I check in for the night, nor is she on any of the cameras. Smith has also left me a short list of activities. Vacuum the VIP booths, restock the bar's energy bar, and do not fuck the animatronics. Alright, let's go restock the energy bars. I might as well knock out an easy task first. Once at the storage room, I grab an empty box and begin piling energy bars into it. I notice something odd as I do. Every energy bar I pull out from the pile seems to pop back into existence whenever I look away. But it's not like the energy bars are disappearing from the box either. I'm not an expert in the paranormal, but this has to be magic, right? Has Smith not only stolen souls and discovered a way to make someone immortal, but also found a way to make endless food? Imagine if these powers and oddities could have harnessed for good. Regardless, I fill my box, then head to the bar. After neatly stacking the energy bars in their designated cabinets, I'm finished with this task. Which task should I tackle? Vacuum. The VIP booths aren't going to vacuum themselves, plus once I'm upstairs I can see across the club. Maybe I'll find some hints of where Chiku is. Grab the vacuum from the janitor's closet, haul it up to the stairs, and get to work. It's one of those wet vacuum machines, meaning every so often I have to stop and take the dirty bucket down to pour out and replace with fresh water. It's slow, mindless work that lets me ponder other matters. On my umpteenth trip up and down, I've still not seen any sign of Chiku. I wonder where she's hiding. Maybe the cameras back at the security room will shed some insight. When I return to the security room and check the cameras, I see Chiku's returned to her pod for the evening. Frenni is missing from hers, and I don't immediately see her on the cameras. I do catch her moving into the locker room in the feed playback and hear the sound of water running when I poke my head out into the corridor. I guess that bathing is something that stuck with the girls when Smith did when Smith did whatever he did. Same with yawning. Regardless, I have some time to kill for the rest of the night. Might as well get some research in. We do paranormal. Finding information about the paranormal and magic on the internet is easy as hell. The problem is figuring out what's genuine and what's bullshit. I don't make a whole lot of headway due to the sheer deluge of stories and creepypastas out there. After a few hours of researching, my shift comes to an end. I've made it through another night somehow. Night 4! When I get back to my apartment, I find that it's been thoroughly cleaned. Dishes, clothes, carpets, everything's been tidied up. Zero's always watching for me on the bed. Welcome home. I hope you don't mind, but I got bored and wanted to clean. I don't mind. It's slightest. I don't mind in the slightest. Oh jeez, I can read. Do you want to cuddle or do something else? We'll cuddle and research magic. Why not cuddle and research? I want to look up paranormal stuff and having you chip in would be immense help. Okay. With Zero spooning against me in bed like a jetpack, I start my journey into the paranormal on my phone. Zero helps by pointing out what she thinks is valid information, which also dismissed any truly crackpot theories. Most of the information I gain sink in, though it's hard to focus with squishy cold mouths pressing against my back and Zero's breath on my neck. There's still an overflowing flow of shit to wade through when it comes to paranormal stuff. However, I can at least start to tell there's truth to games like mortuary assistance and which part can be real. I think I understand how Zero created the plush doll that I've brought home. By embedding part of herself into the plushie form, she anchors herself to the mortal plane. I don't know whether that part was her real body or part of her animatronic form, but Zero tells me that it doesn't matter. So long as the subject is willing, when you create such a doll, their spirit can bounce between her body and their doll at will. There are always ways to bind someone into a doll unwillingly, but you would be no better than Smith if you did that. A nod in agreement, not voicing the dark thought of putting Smith into a doll so he can get a taste of his own medicine. That thought falls away as I get truly comfy and content in Zero's arm before nodding off. 9 hours later, I get up to find that Zero's no longer in my apartment. Rather, her plushie is on the bed where she once laid, along with a note. Call me if you need me. Remember not to get too pent up, otherwise the girls might pounce on you during the night. Okay, doesn't show anything. Night 5. Tonight there's a light rainstorm moving through the area. No thunder or lightning, but enough wetness to require an umbrella. When I let myself into the club, the sounds of the girls practicing on stage hits my ears. Bonfi jamming out on her guitar, while Chiku is backing up Frenni vocals. Sorry. Vexla's in the back, providing electric keyboards and dancing elements. The girls all smile when they notice me, but keep practicing as I head for the security office. As I expected, there's a task list waiting for me next to the laptop. Ensure the animatronics practice the new song and dances, prepare pizza dough for the next day shift, replace broken camera watching VIP area, restock the bar's vodka, and do not fuck the animatronics. There's also a marked map on the building and instructions how to get down to the hidden pizzeria for task 3. Somehow the fact that an entire kitchen has been hidden doesn't surprise me. In an event, I might as well knock out the first task since the girls are already practicing. I scurry back to go sit at the bar while the girls wrap up their current song. Much like my second night here, Frenni points in my direction and announces into the microphone. Let's practice that song, girls. Bonnie adjusts her guitar and Fexa turns a few knobs on her keyboard, then both start belting out dark synth tunes as Frenni steps upward to sing. There's no ways these lyrics aren't targeted at me and the situation at this damn club. I'm lost in the spectacle of Chico joins in for the chorus. Chico falls off while Frenni surges forward for the next verse. They're all putting on one hell of a show. Fexa's moves are better than most K-pop, J-pop groups, and Bonfi is shredding him on the guitar. Chico takes the chorus once more, her voice wavering with genuine emotion. Bonfi and Fexa launch into their breakdowns, putting normal musicians to shame. The song wraps up after the fade out. I rise, I clap as the girls take a bow. I'm glad you all enjoyed that one. You've been a wonderful crowd tonight. Any requests from the audience? Sing what you want, girls. I'm just here to supervise. They all look at one another. Frenni winks before all of them nod as one. Bonnie starts strumming a cool, relaxed, mellow beat while Fexa abandons her keyboards to go be a backup dancer with Chiku behind Frenni. Compared to the last song, this one is all focused on vocals instead of constant backing track. Frenni, Chico, and Fexa started sliding off their clothes in tune with the music. I can tell Fexa's the one behind the choreography as she's just a touch more confident with her twirls and curves. Chico's a little more awkward, while Frenni's eyes are locked on me the entire time. The song is absurdly stops there on account of Bonfi's guitar breaking a string. She swears as Frenni covers for her. Just a minor malfunction, folks. We'll be back in a moment. She blows a kiss directly at me on the stage lights dim. When the lights come back up, the girls aren't there anymore. I really need to figure out how they're getting away so quickly and quietly like that. Still, I got 2 serenades and got to see some of them strip. That's a win in my book. Guess that means I've got some other tasks to do. Alright, I guess we'll go place the camera. Next on my list of nightly tasks is to replace the camera watching the VIP area. But first, I attempt to roll back the footage to see what caused this one to break. When I do, I greet it by a black screen with the words "footage deleted." I have no means of recovering the footage. Oh well, might as well replace the broken camera. By the time I finish with the new camera, the girls are back performing. I watch them for a bit from upstairs until my phone vibrates in my pocket. When I check, it's some mysterious blocked number that left me another cryptic message. You aren't listening. I keep trying to help, but you aren't listening. Why aren't you listening? Perhaps I should prove how serious I am. You need to quit your job now before it's too late. You think he won't do that to you too? I'm gonna text Zero. I know of one individual that might be able to help with this situation. Zero. Hey, getting weird texts from a block number. Same guy as the last few nights. I think, can you do anything with your ghostly powers? I have found him. He saw your Peck, the night guard before you. Want his address? Or should I convince him to leave you alone? Oh gosh. What do we want to do? He's trying to help us, right? So we'll get his address. I tell Zero to give me Soyo's address and actual phone number so I could probably confront him later. A number and address comes from Zero's number shortly thereafter. Well, I looked it up on Google's map. It's one of the more rundown parts of the city. I definitely don't want to meet Sawyer there if I can help it, much less turn up unannounced. For now, I simply thank Zero and return to my nightly duties. We shall restock the vodka. The vodka restocking is easy enough. I take extra care to not drop or damage any of the expensive bottles worth more than I'd make in a year. Why Smith trusts me to do such a job is confusing, but so is everything else about this job. The only benefit is that I get to see a little more of the girls' performance once they return to stage. I finish up right as I do at the bar. Chiku, Bonfi head towards the staff area, while Foxa and Frenni approach me directly. Have fun watching, Mr. Black? A ton, yeah. Between everyone's singing and the dancing, I wish I had another set of eyes. But that was nothing special. I've done better before. Well, it was stimulating. What are you girls going to do now? That depends on you, Mr. Black. You're supposed to watch us perform tonight, and I'm feeling practically stimulated. But we can't... Nothing says you can't watch us go at it. Tempting. Oh, so tempting. But I feel like Smith will still yell at me even if that's a loophole. Oh well, come on, Fexa, let's go have some fun. Frenni slaps Fexa's ass and starts to pull her away. Fexa looks at me as if to say save me before she accepts being dragged elsewhere. Alright, let's go make some dough. The map Smith left for me leads to a long set of light switches on the back wall behind the stage. 4 are grouped together to the left. The instructions say to turn on the first and last 2 in the group. Click. The floor slides open. As the lift raises up, it's large enough to fit 2 people or 1 person in an animatronic at a time. I step into the lift, and moments later I arrive in an expensive kitchen that runs the width and length of the stage. It's not all that different from a classic pizza joint in that there's a singular main oven and several prep stations surrounding it. There's also a secondary freezer, storage room, and bathroom down here. The only other way out seems to be a staircase behind a chain-locked metal gate and a vent access. Preparing the pizza dough is simple with Smith's instructions, yet time-consuming. Based on how much I have to prep, the club must go through an army's worth of pizza during the day. At least I don't have to worry about being jumped by the girls while I'm down here. Once all my tasks for the evening are complete, I have some time to myself. Might as well get some research in. Alright, we're gonna do missing, but I also gotta do some coding. Still no major progress in finding the girl's true identities. However, I can at least pick up the local college. Waterfall Institute has a large number of incidents that showed up in the public crime records. I suppose that's to be expected given that the college is right in the middle of the city and how many people flow through the area. After a few hours of researching, my shift comes to an end. I made it through another night somehow. Okay. Once I get home, I have some spare time before I have to go to sleep. After the night's events, I get the gut feeling that dealing with Sawyer soon rather than later will be the best thing everyone's involved. As my mom used to say, the longer you let crazy simmer, the worse the stew will be. I have Sawyer's number and address thanks to Zero, but showing up out of the blue won't be safe. Not just because of Sawyer's lives in the city, he strikes me as the type to shotgun around and visitors who knock on his door. Instead, I text him asking if we can meet. He texts back the address of a public park and time 30 minutes from now. I'll have to really huff it to get there in time. Meeting in the public should be safer, but it also means summoning Zero might cause issues if I'm not careful. Still, this is my best shot to hear from Sawyer, so I take it. 28 minutes later, I'm seated on the bench watching early morning joggers and old people moving about the city park. A man in an oversized black trench coat and ski mask slip into the bench beside me. He speaks in a terrible imitation of a Batman voice.
Were you followed?
No, were you?
Of course not. The agents of Mordoxy can't trick me.
Oh god. He's one of those types. I had a feeling that his confirms his band of crazy. So why is it that you want me to quit my job at Frenni's Fazclaires? How did you even get my number in the first place? Sawyer shuffles on the bench, looking out across a small hill of dew-covered grass.
It was easy to look up your number. The government tracks everything you do.
All I had to do
was break free of their mind control and listen to the wind.
Okay, and why should I quit?
Because those girls ain't right. They're part of the global conspiracy to upload everyone's mind to the Matrix so the lizardmen can control our thoughts.
This is getting me absolutely nowhere. I had a feeling Sawyer wasn't playing with a full deck of cards, but this all confirms he's either gone insane or always was. Still, as crazy as he may be, I might be able to glean some useful information if I get him talking about the right thing. Damn, really? What isn't read about them so I know exactly what to avoid?
The bear is actually a siren in disguise. Her songs twist your mind and make you weak to her physical imitations. The fox is always in the hen house, feeding upon the Karian lord's corpse. The bunny is a stripper.
And the chicken? He shifts uncomfortably, his legs closing reflexively as if to guard his crux.
The chicken lures you in with promises of a feast only to take what makes you a man.
I decide to lean into his performance, hoping for further information. I see, thanks for telling me. I've noticed some of those things too. What more can you tell me about the chicken? I don't want to lose anything to her.
She works for them, you know. Matriarchy. They want to shackle a man and make us their slaves. These they deem unworthy end up castrated and sent to the psychiatrical crystal mines in Nevada.
I don't know what these psychic crystal mines in Nevada. Sawyer is very eager to explain that to me as he launches into more monologues. It's extremely clear to me that this man needs help. Right now he seems harmless, but it's short drive from conspiracy nut to murderer. I need to figure out how to get him to leave me alone, but first I'm curious about one thing. What was that about the car and lords and the fox? He scratches his left forearm as if they were too nervous tick.
She takes the souls of the men and binds them into plastic soldiers to fight for her amusement. Her forces are too great for the army of light to handle. She invades the rightful property of man.
Oh good, that wasn't cryptic at all. Still, it might help me find Vexa's real identity somewhere down the line. I think I've gotten all I can from this deranged man. Now to pour into a pour it on thick and hope the bias to act. Alright, thanks for your intel. I can't say too much, but you may have just helped save countless lives and possibly countless souls. We can't meet again. The risk to the both of us is too great. You need to stay safe and keep your head down.
Of course. Glad I could help the forces of light. Elf-face can grow, brother.
Sawyer stands looking more nervously, flipping up the corners of his trench coat, then hastily leaving the park. I'm not entirely sure he's been dealt with, though. Maybe I should have Zero haunt him for a bit. Nah, I think the boy's crazy enough. He'll probably have us in. Let's just leave him alone. I want to trust that the crazy man won't do anything rash. If I have Zero haunt him, Sawyer might go even more crazy and end up hurting himself or others. For the time being, I'll leave him alone, but that'll change if he texts me again. This entire affair wasted all the time I had before I had to sleep. Dang it. I'll research more after I wake up. I'll wake 9 hours later. There's a text from Zero waiting for me. Remember not to get too pent up, otherwise the girls will pounce it. Okay. Alrighty. Yep, and then we'll take a shower, kill an hour. We have an hour to kill, so let's go more into... I continue to research local crimes and missing people. The hours pass faster than expected. The sound of light guitar riffs flitters through the club when I get to work. I expect to see all the girls practicing on the stage once more, but this time it's just Bonfi. She's seated on the edge of the stage, her legs dangling over the side as she hums to keep herself on beat. Hi Josh, you're early. Only by like 5 minutes. Still, it's better to be early than to be late. Here, Mr. Smith said I should give you the task list directly tonight. She hands me a list, well, more like 2 bullet points. I think I already read, I don't remember. Test Bonfi's new conversational suit. And number 2, do not fuck the animatronics. New conversational suit. Yep, the customers keep complaining I wasn't stimulating enough for them. So Mr. Smith worked with his buddy to upgrade my subroutines. I feel like I have so many things to say, and only so much time to say them. You certainly seem more animated. Well, if all I have to do is chat with you, then it'll be an easy night. Wanna go sit at the bar or something? Bonfi hops off the edge of the stage and follows me to the bar. She leans over behind the bar to grab a carrot to nibble and suck on. Some of the things I read, broskies. Do you actually need to eat? Can you taste things? I've always wondered. We can convert food stuff into extra energy or store it for later. I'm gonna open a drink real quick, so you're gonna hear a... You might already know this, but when customers try to drink with us, we store the liquor to put back in the bottles later. Okay. I feel like that's a health code violation on so many levels. Man, it's not like we contaminate or anything. Besides, Mr. Smith is all about cutting costs, where possible. Blah, blah, blah. Speaking of your new programming, have your commands been upgraded as well, or have some been removed? Her eye flashes red and blue before she answers. A good amount has been updated, but I can't give you an exact number. Security protocol and all that. Besides, that boring stuff, ask me something juicy. Alright, which of the other girls would you date if you could? That's a tough one. I think I have to go with Frenni, if only because she's got that whole Dami mommy vibe. I'm totally down for that. Plus, with my music and her singing, we'd be unstoppable on stage. Reasonable, so you are really focused on making music then. women basically care about three things: music, that, and making mixtapes to that. Couldn't help but laugh a little at her honesty. Is that why you like being a stripper? It's a good workout, and I get to make people horny by watching me. Okay. People tend to be more honest with themselves when they're home. Yeah. I'm not gonna read those words, Bruce. I get to see a side of them that they don't often show to the world. That's oddly poetic in a way, though I wonder why you haven't sent me any nudes yet. Oh gosh, man. This is why I don't read these things, guys. This is why I've always no commentary. But some of you wanted this. Is that because I'm not showing you the real me, as you put it? Two reasons for that. One, I don't think pictures or even videos capture my performances and dancing well. Two, I figured between the other girls, you wouldn't want or need any from me. Girl, if you send me one, I'll dedicate an entire session to it tomorrow. Fine, I'll send you one. Sweet, can you talk about the day shift at all? I am curious what things are like when I'm not here. It's your standard lewd nightclub. Bunch of guys and a few girls come in to eat, drop terrible pickup lines, and basically fawn over me and others. Mr. Smith talked about bringing on more girls to keep up with the demand, but her eyes flash red. But I can't talk about that. I note the roadblock and continue on. So music. What's your favorite genre? Genre, song, and band. Easy. Hard rock, metal for the first, and pump, and it's electric callboy for the second and third. I'm not familiar with that one. He reaches up to flick her right ear. Moments later, the song begins playing through her speakers. On the surface, it's a song about working out, but I easily pick up the frickin' undertones. She's even playing a few more songs from the band to give me a further taste. Good stuff. Is that why you went for guitar, bass as your first and main instrument? Sorta, yeah. There's a visceral reaction to a good riff that can't be easily replicated by other instruments working on their own. A good guitar can carry a show on its own in the right hands. Ever try to draw or play or paint? You have singing, dancing, and music covered. Why not master another creative skill? Oh, I don't have the mix for physical arts unless the physical art is, yep. That is a virtuoso at. That I'm a virtuoso at. Oh my goodness, man. Fair. Do you and the girls watch TV or films? Maybe we could do a movie night when there's free time. I can't answer that one, sorry. Odd. I tried a different, though lightly still blocked question. Of all the past night guards, who was your favorite and who lasted the longest? Oh, that's easy. Mike. That information is blocked. I'm sorry. Alrighty then. What's your favorite? Oh, tough one. I think I like the Flying Dutchman the most. I don't know what that is. The what? The Flying Dutchman. You suspend the guy from the ceiling above the bed and then... Yep, only using the momentum to make him bounce. Sounds complex and a lot of setup. That's what makes it fun, though a more simple position I like is the Amazon. Somehow that tracks. If you could change one part of your frame, what would it be? And any reason if you want to talk about it. Bumpy crosses her legs and leans on the bar. I've always wondered what having would be like. Mr. Smith's thought about developing such a thing for the more interesting clients that came in, but he decided it wasn't worth the cost to develop detachable. There's just not enough demand among the high-paying customers. Those that want femboys, not... Huh? I think he's got a femboy model in production then. No, just a new... That information is blocked. I'm sorry. One last question then. Dogs or cats, and why? I want cats. Cats, of course. Oh, nice. I love a good... Well, in my total professional opinion, your conversational subroutines are doing great. Anything you want to ask me, it's been kind of one-sided. Bonfi, thanks. Bonfi thinks, then grins and asks, if you could only have one of us girls, which would it be? Alrighty guys, we got Frenni, Vexa, Bonfi, or Chiku. There's no right answer to that, or I'm not interested in anyone. Well, Chiku and Frenni. But Bonfi's awesome too. Why do I play these games, guys? We're gonna say there's no right answer to that, even though I'd go with Chiku. You know, there's no right answer to that one. Not that doesn't get me fired or hurting everyone's feelings. Aw, but that's what makes it fun. A fun question. But I understand. You're too nice to hurt everyone's feeling like that. That's what we like about you. Anyways, I should get back to my pod. The upgrade process took a lot of power and I'm running on dry here. Thanks for a fun chat, Josh. She hops up the stool and heads for the animatronic room. I know she puts more emphasis on her hip and ass as she walks, as if she's trying to lure me into following her. I checked the time. I've got plenty of time to kill now that all my assigned tasks are done. This might be a good chunk of time to spend exploring the HVAC system. It might let me enter some of the more restricted areas or get away from any danger. I'm not expecting to find any major secrets, but I never knew when it comes to Frenni Fazclaires. An hour later, I've managed to map about 85% of the vents. There's ways to get into the pizzeria, VIP area, and even the exterior of the building without showing up on the any cameras. I also found 2 pathways with added security, specifically laser trip wires and what I thought is a sound monitor. All my rewatches of Mission Impossible came in clutch here. Lol. One way leads to where Smith's office is, while the other goes down to what I imagine must be the server room. For now, I head back to the security room to do some research. Alrighty guys, we're gonna have to go look for missing persons. As I settle in to continue my research on missing persons, a picture jumped out at me. It's a photo of a girl named Wee Young Mi. She's pictured at a gaming store nearby the Waterfall Institute campus, winning a wargaming tournament 3 years ago. Her body is phenomenal, and she's clad in gothic Lolita-styled clothes that solidify her as being an alpha nerd. Bruh. The kind of women that men lust after, and we fight to the death to claim. The missing person reports reads, be on the lookout for Wee Young Mi, a senior studying architecture at the Waterfall Institute. She was a member of the dance team and was well known among her peers. Her last known location was 5th and Madison, near her dormitory. If you have any information, please call. I'm fairly confident I found Fex's past life. Nice. After a few hours of researching, my shift comes to an end. I've made it through another night somehow. Woohoo! Club isn't open on Sundays, meaning I have 15 hours to do whatever I want before my next shift. My paychecks for the week has come in from Mr. Smith. He's paid me more than I was expecting, probably because he thinks I'm a model employee. I'm paying my overdue rent and other bills. I'm left with $1,500 left to spend as I wish. I'd have to leave now if I wanted to catch business hours for most stores. Time to do some shopping. Guess we'll go to the military surplus. Or a dime a dozen in this city thanks to the military bases outside the city. The key is picking a store that sells legit goods at decent prices. Ranks over on 28th Street should fit the bill for my purpose. The windows of the store are tinted though the door is open. Give me 1 second. Inside I could see rows of military propophilia, as well as heavy locked display cases with actual guns in them. The owner, Frank, is a heavy-set, balding man with a tattoo of the US flag on each of his biceps. USA! I mean, yeah. Welcome to Frank's. What can I do for you? I'm gonna eat a chip. ASMR, guys. Okay, I don't think I want a gun. Body armor might be good. I don't plan on getting shot, stabbed, or otherwise attacked anytime soon. However, having body armor and not needing it is better than needing it or not having it. Frank sells me a vest that fits me well and should be good against most knives and bullets. Let's go by the 3 spy cameras. If I want to capture footage of the club without Smith knowing, I need my own cameras. Luckily, Frank has a set of 3 wireless cameras that should fit the bill. The batteries only last a week, so if I put them somewhere, I have to retrieve and recharge them regularly. Still a good purchase, considering what the equivalent smart house device costs. Sorry man, I was eating chips. And then maybe we could do night vision goggles. Sorry, at the top of the list of cool spy shit is night vision goggles. There's a bunch on the shelves. Picked one at random and pay off Frank. Now I'll be able to see in the pitch dark black conditions. And I think that'd be it. I don't need a gun. Alright, I return home with my purchases, ready to relax and do my own thing. Might as well research something before turning in for the night. Alright, let's go do some more coding since we haven't done much of that. I'm getting better at programming and becoming what is known as a power user. At this point, I can read most forms of codes and generally understand what's going on. I can even write a few semi-helpful scripts of my own. That's all I can do now. For now, I need sleep before I can continue. With the club closed and all my errands settled, I have a big stretch of time in which I do some research. I can probably get in 6 big chunks of focus studies. What should I look at first? Alrighty. So, if I do 6 of the missing persons, that will do all of them, I think. But we might need more coding and paranormal stuff. So I think we'll just do 2 in each. Continue to research coding. What should I look at second? We'll go coding again, so that's 450. Paranormal and magic. Oh, I call upon Zero and sit against her in bed. With her help, I'm able to research magic more efficiently. If what I'm reading is true, then I think I understand the process of how to create my own words against magic and technology. Most reputable sources maintain that scurrying isn't real, sirening isn't real, but I'm willing to bet Smith still has his office and home warded against magic all the same. Maybe that's how he keeps Zero out from sensitive areas. I also think I might be able to conjure up the thunderstorm within 24 hours lead up time if I had the right components. Blah, blah, blah. Trouble is, those components aren't going to be something I can just grab at the normal curio or magic store. I also find more information about the weather control ritual. The more I dig into this weather control stuff, the more I wonder if it's real. Because if it was real, then everyone would be doing it. Fair enough. The missing key is genuine ectoplasm or other physical imbued substances. Even then, such a ritual is only about 40% effective. Damn. Genuine ectoplasm? I don't suppose you could. If you milk me like a cow, yes. Those words go straight to my head. We need a jar ASAP. After frantically finding a jar for Zero to hold, I move behind her and slip my arms under her armpits to want to research fourth. So now we're gonna do missing person. continue to research local crimes and missing persons. And now for my 5th chunk of research. When I fire up my browser and continue searching missing persons, I find a potential hit for Frenni. Pictured as Imada Elsa, a junior studying communication and acting at Waterfall Institute. She is a member of the Chi Alpha Delta and well known for her impromptu karaoke shows in the local community. Imada-chan was seen leaving her sorority house for her morning classes during the most recent thunderstorm. If you have any information, the picture is over 4 years old, and in researching further, I find a shaky video of one of her karaoke performances. The quality is that of a potato, but what matters is the audio. Once I hear her, I instantly know I found Frenni. There's no mistaking that voice and method of singing. At this point, it's becoming clear that the Institute is the focal point of all these abductions. Smith and his accomplices must have a way to circumvent the Institute campus security. That or it's just that shitty. Still, that just leaves Chiku, Bonfi, and Zero for me to discover. I'm almost out of free time before I have to sleep and get to the club for my 7th night shift. Alright, we're gonna do more. And continue to research local crimes and missing persons. That's all the research I can do for now. Time for bed. I have plenty of time to exercise and handle other mothers before leaving for work. As long as it doesn't show anything. Yep. Night 7. To my surprise, Fexa is waiting for me in the reception area when I let myself into the club. She's leaning against the wall with an expression somewhere between annoyance and boredom. Good, you're finally here. Need to talk to you alone in private. It's important. Can you be more specific? Not in the open. Well, that's not cryptic at all. Type out on my phone to meet in the VIP booth. Type out on my phone to meet in the pizzeria. Insist that she tells you or returns her pod. I pull out my phone to type a clandestine message while I announce to the watching cameras. I cannot fuck the animatronics. Once I type out the message to meet in the VIP booth, I show the screen to Fexa. She nods, then plays along. You're right. Rule number 1 here at Frenni Fazclaires is you cannot fuck their waitresses. I will go practice my pole dancing alone, so you cannot... Yeah. I gotta stop saying that word. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Smith will see right through that if he checks the logs, but at least I have plausible deniability. Since I'll be taking the vents to the VIP area, there won't be a record of me entering the 2nd floor. As far as Smith will know, I'll never have left the security office. God damn it. I quickly climb through the vents later. I'm in one of the private VIP booths, out of sight and sound of the cameras. Vex is there already practicing her pole dancing. As she proclaimed, she's not as graceful on the pole as Monfi, but Fexa still has the moves. So what's this about? Or did you just want to dance for me? Fexa stops her twirls to lift up her wrapping over her eye. I understand her urgency immediately. The previously covered eye is green. How? Not sure. Smith tried to run an update on my conversational suit, but it didn't take. Well, he thinks it did, but in reality it broke some of the hold he had over me. My mind is mostly my own, just like it was during thunderstorm. Shit, is Smith updating all the girls' conversational suits? That means I'm running out of time. Yeah, certainly seems that way. I think Chiku is slated for the upgrade 2 nights from now, while Fanny isn't in Smith's crosshairs on account of her already being a customer's favorite. What do you plan on doing? Speak her true name and see what happens. I'm not positive that speaking Fex's true name will do anything in this situation, but it's worth trying. I'm going to try something. I think I know who you are once were. Blah, blah, blah. Fexa freezes mid-motion and her normal eyes pulses red. Whatever you're doing, make it quick. My blocks do not like this conversation. You used to be why young me, a senior studying architect at Waterfall Institute. You were on the dance team and did a bunch of wargaming. Her normal eyes rapidly flashes between red and green, then lands in green and stays that way. I know who I am, Josh. I know who I am. You did it. You fucking beautiful person. You did it. She tickles me violently, kissing and licking every part of my face that she could get to. She's not actually trying to make out with me. If anything, she's like an overly excited puppy that sees her master after they've been away for a long time. Even Fex's tail is swaying in hyper mode. I don't want to ruin her well-deserved good mood. I apply loving pets to her head and try to coax her down naturally. It takes a good 10 minutes before Fexa stops aggressively fawning over me. Sorry, I got carried away there. Reasonable, I think, given what you've been through. Let's make sure you stay free of Smith's control and out of his notice, though. Can you manage your eye color and server connection? Fexa blinks, her eyes go blue and red before stopping on red. Rule number 1 at Frenni Fazclaires nightclub is you cannot fuck the waitresses. Then her eyes turn pink and she winks. But there's no rules against freaking why young me. I'll take that as a yes then. I know this is asking a lot, but do you think you can keep up the act until I figure out how to free the other girls? For you, yes, and maybe I can help with that. I don't have any memories from time in the server room, but I am an architect. I can tell you that the room has to be tied to a secret breaker panel away from the main one. Otherwise, there'd be too much power flowing through there, and it'd be a real fire risk. There's a lot of separate HVAC units next to the main one that supplies extra ventilations directly to the server room. Otherwise, the servers would cook themselves to death from all the excess heat. Granted, half this place isn't up to code to begin with, but Smith isn't stupid when it comes to controlling us. He'll have the breakers somewhere he can keep an eye on it. Like in his office? Likely, yes. If you remember from the thunderstorm, there's a few fail-safes if power is cut completely to the server room. One of which is notifying Smith, but you could probably cut power to just the security systems on the entrance and still go in without alerting Smith. That's good information. Thanks, Fexa. Shame I can't call you by your real name without Smith finding out. Yeah, something similar happens with Chiku back before when Mike was the night guard. You can probably guess what happened to them when Smith caught on. I've heard about this Mike before. Do you know his last name? Smith? I think Smith's wiped my memory of his number or address though, so that's all I can tell you about him. Mike Smith. It's something at least. Bexa nods, then snuggles closer. So, what you gonna do now? Honestly, probably you silly, actually. I have to keep working towards freeing you all. I need to figure out Chico's real name and tell her before Smith runs that update. Understandable. If it helps you find her, I can at least tell you she wasn't kidding about wanting to be a nuclear engineer. I also know she was a student at Waterfall Institute, just like me. Sounds like I know where to look then, thanks. We should probably get out of here before we give Smith a reason to check the logs. Oopsie daisy. Is now a good time? Fixa and I jump as we look towards the door of the VIP booth. Standing in the doorway of the VIP booth is a shark animatronic I've never seen before. Fixa doesn't seem to recognize her as she instinctively moves in front of me. Who the hell are you? I'm Lexi, of course, your pirate companion. Never heard or seen you before now. That would be because Mr. Smith made me too well. I was designed to be alluring, yet forgettable. The way when customers come in, they'd see me for the first time every time. That means they'd spend more money trying to impress the new girl. The problem is that I'm too forgettable. The magical word Mr. Smith put on me are overly effective. Even Smith himself isn't immune to the effects of my memory obliteration words. Obliteration words. Yep. Sadly, neither of you appear to have a counter word, so the moment I leave this booth, you'll forget all about me again. Vexa turns to look at me. You believe any of this? It wouldn't be the weirdest thing about this nightclub. Fair, alright? Let's say I believe you, Lexi. Why are you here? For one thing, I'm here to congratulate Fexa on her newfound freedom. You may still be stuck here until Smith is dealt with, but this is an important step towards that goal. Anything past that will require you to get that counter word. It's not worth telling you anything more than it'll vanish from your mind no matter what you do. Great, well, before I forget this whole conversation, here's something for you, Josh. Fexa reaches into her cleavage and pulls out a note from Smith. On it are 2 tasks. Clean up the repair area and do not fuck the animatronics. Wonderful, at least the list is short. Here's hoping you pick up the counter word in the future. For now, I guess this is goodbye. Lexi steps out, leaving Fexa and I alone for now. Wait, what were we just doing? Oh no, there's a gap in my memory. Did I give you Smith's task list? Yeah, I have it right here. Weird, let's hope it's not related to me being free now. I'll be in the recharge pod if you need me. When I arrive in the animatronics repair area, the place is in severe disarray. Tools and supplies are stirring about the place like a mini tornado blew through. I wonder what might have caused this. It's quite the mess, but it's nothing I can't handle. Once I'm done, I head back to the security room. I have free range for the rest of the night. Alright, I think we're just gonna keep working this so we can free everyone. Chiku's comments about wanting to be a nuclear engineer came to mind, so I searched for anyone missing from Waterfall Institute that might fit the bill. A pure chance I find someone. She's blonde, curvy, and overall fits the bill of human Chiku in my mind. She's pictured as a missing person in a newspaper from 5 years ago with the following tagline. Picture is Sophia Hart, cheerleader and sophomore at Waterfall Institute, studying nuclear engineering. Her last known location was 8th and Jefferson, near her dormitory. If you have any information, call. A few further photos I find online show Sophia eating pizza and partying with her friends. I also find one of her friends mentioning that Sophia struggled with bulimia episodes. Unfortunately, that same friend isn't accepting DMs from strangers. Still, this is big. I figured out who Chiku used to be. Nice. Soon my shift comes to an end. I've made it through another night somehow. Oh my gosh, guys, we made it through night 7. When I get home, Zero is nowhere to be found. Her plushie's still there though, so I'm not all that worried. It's been a long day, so I settled into bed hugging her plushie. Zero's plushie is still in my arms as I yawn and start to roll out of bed. I have some time to do research before work. Alright, so we did find Chiku. Coding might be a good idea. I must have a knack for coding as I'm picking things up at an alarming rate. I've learned how to read, write, and manipulate assemble code, which is a huge step in being able to discompile and find weak points in programs. I'm not an expert by any means, though I have ordered a rubber ducky to help my further coding endeavors. It's getting to be the time of night where I decide whether to get off or not. I get why I have to do it. I just wish it wasn't as necessary. Zero would likely sleep with me in an instant if I asked, but I don't want to lose its zest or appeal. And we're starting night 8. What am I doing, guys? Why am I playing these games? Cause you guys like them. And I do this for you guys. But they're also fun. Something feels off when I get inside the nightclub. It's similar to the sensation I felt when Zero was haunting me, but somehow more sinister. I feel like there's someone right behind me at all times, no matter how many times I look. Even when I get to the security room and check the feeds, there's no sign of anyone stalking me. I shake my head and read the note Smith left on the desk. New girl's finally here, kid. She's in the 5th pod. See to it she meets the other girls and ensure she's Rule 1 compliant. But don't go breaking the Rule 1 either. I will know. Ciao. New girl? Fuck, that means someone else has gone missing. Would it be a student from Waterfall Institute? I turn my attention to the cameras in the animatronic room and see the 5th recharge pod is filled by a large animatronic. We got the Marinette. Her body is overall white with black X markings and stripes here and there. It has special joints that I'm guessing let her control how wide and tall she is to some degree. Exaggerated makeup and painting covers her face plate, not unlike classic theater or carnival masks. The pod name tag reads Mary. The timing of Mary arrival is suspect. I don't think Smith's caught on to my machinations thus far, but for a new girl to show up right in the middle of upgrades to the original girls? This is a lot of reading. For all I know, he could be scrying on me. Is that like spying or scrying on me? No way, scrying is the only thing in Dungeons and Dragons. Zero classified that pretty early into my research of the paranormal. Still, I don't like the fact that Mary's here now. I have no idea where her loyalty lies, let alone why Smith wants me to make sure she's Rule 1 compliant. Shouldn't he have done that before unleashing her into the club? I decided to bring Zero in on this. New girl showed up at the club. I think Smith's up to something. Mind coming to check things out? I couldn't get close to the new girl. She's warded like the server room. That means I can't suggest things to her, possess her body, or really be in the same area as her. Great, so she's a walking dead zone. Thanks for trying. Well, there's only one thing for me to do now. I head for the animatronic room. Once I'm outside Mary's pod, I look to the nearest camera and repeat my oath. I will not fuck the animatronics. Then I tap the open button on the pod and step back. There's a hiss as the pod opens up, and this orgs Mary onto her feet. Her eyes flutter open, followed by her stretching and yawning. When she speaks, her voice has the hint of a foreign accent, Australian maybe. I was having such a nice dream, and who might you be, little fella? I'm Josh Black, the night guard. Do you know your name? Where you are? Of course, I'm... Her eyes flash, and flashes red before turning blue. I'm Mary. I'm the new girl at the Frenni Fazclaires nightclub, home to the best in safe adult entertainment. And when it comes to safe adult entertainment, what do you know? Do you know the rules of the nightclub? Number 1 is do not fuck the customers, right? Close. It's do not fuck the animatronics, period. It's the most important rule that keeps the nightclub running smoothly. Mary steps closer within an arm's reach of me before tilting her head to the side. That means you and I can't have a little fun? Nope, sorry, but unless you want me to lose my job. Her eyes flashes blue once more. Right, you're the night guard. That means you're the highest authority in the building during the night shift. That's correct, and I like to keep things simple and stress-free. You're free to move about the club if your recharge sequence ends early. All I ask is that you don't interrupt me if I'm doing something and that you listen to any orders I give you. Mr. Smith, the owner, likes to leave a list of tasks for me to get done before the shift is over. They usually take time and effort to accomplish before the night's out. Another flash of blue. Right, Mr. Smith is the one who created me. His goal was to create a bartender to replace the high turnover rate of normal bartenders during the day shift. Then you're in charge of the bar? I bet you'll get all kinds of extra tips. Oh gosh. Just not the kind I really want. Oh well, can you show me where I'll be working? I have a map of the club in my memory banks, but I'm terrible with directions. Sure, right this way. And if this is a ploy to stare, remember, no touching. But I can look all I want, right? Sure. Yay! The same sinister feeling of being watched returns as I lead Mary to the bar. At least I know why my ass feels like it's in danger. Thankfully, Mari doesn't cause any trouble for now. And here we are, hard to miss, but I suppose it might be different when this place is full of customers. Smith has me doing restock duties sometimes, so if you run out of anything, just let either him or me know. Mary slides behind the bar, begins inspecting the various liquors, taps, bottles available to her. Quite the selection here. 20 different beer taps, 50 or so various liquors, and more mixers than is really necessary. Not to mention some of these bottles might be worth more than I am. No wonder Mr. Smith's needed a consistent, dependable bartender. She grabs Kahlua, vodka, and vanilla cream, as well as a glass and some ice. There's no rule against serving you drinks, is there? I settle onto the bar stool. Nope, it just comes out of my paycheck. You got the makings of a White Russian there, if I'm not mistaken. Always wanted to try one. Mary smiles, her hands moving with the kind of skill and grace that only comes with actual experience over several years. Then settle in, mate. I'm about to make you the best White Russian under 20 bucks that you'll ever have. She's not wrong. When I take a sip of the cocktail, I'm blown away by the texture and decadent taste. It's smooth, creamy, and overall a good treat. That's pretty damn good. Seems you've got the bartender thing nailed down. Do you think Smith's going to keep you behind the bar at all times? The other girls all sing, dance, or otherwise perform for the customers. Anything like that in your wheelhouse? Aside from the bar tricks, let me see. Her eyes pulse blue several times as I assume she's checking her programming. I can dance, and I'm also able to offer customers an extra special VIP package. What's this extra special package exactly? Does it break rule number 1? Nope, Mr. Smith doesn't consider offering body shots at 500% markup to be a violation of rule number 1. Interesting. The other girls seem to be more restricted in this regard. Speaking of, you may want to introduce yourself to them soon. I can help smooth things over if you need me to. I don't know if they'll be awake anytime soon though. It's a toss-up who's complete their recharge sequence early. Goddamn, bro, I could read. I think I'll be fine, but thanks for the offer. My conversational suit is just as advanced as the other girls. Does that mean Bonfi and Fexa were test subjects for the software upgrade? That's good to know. This sort of thing will come in handy while manning the bar. Think you can pass along any weird rumors or troublemakers I should keep a lookout for? I might be the night guard, but it helps to know what issues the day shifts deal with. I think I could do that, sure. Cool, that might seem like an odd question, but you have this aura about you. Any idea what that might be? Mary's eyes flashes crimson for an extended period before she laughs it off. For someone that doesn't want and can't fudge me, you currently aren't adverse to flirting. No dice there. At least I have major clues to work with whenever I go searching for missing people later on. She's Aussie, a bartender, and her name likely begins with the letter V. There can't be too many of those, even if I go back a few years. I decide to pass off my comments as a joke. Ha, just checking for Rule 1 restraints. Last question before I leave you to it. Do you have something like a bouncer mode if one of the patrons get rowdy or needs to be kicked out? I've bounced enough bars to know that a bartender is lord of their domain. Mary leans over to the bar, squishing her on the surface as she answers. Oh, I'm quite capable of dealing with people making trouble for Mr. Smith. Don't worry, Josh, I'll keep the day shift safe. I smile, finish my drink, thank Mary, then return to the security room. If what Fexa says last night is true, tonight is the last time I'll be able to use Chiku's real name to free her. Otherwise, Smith will run the update on her and it will be too late. The question is, do I risk freeing Chiku with Mari now in the picture? We gotta risk it, man. Risk it for the biscuit. No, bro, sorry. It may not be safe for me to try and free Chiku with Mari around, but I have to try. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't do everything I could to make these girls live less hellish. No risk, no reward. I beeline for Chico's pod and wake her from her rest. She yawns and stretches as her eyes flutter open. Oh hey Josh, why'd you stop my recharge sequence early? Nope. Okay. As I speak to her for a benefit of the cameras, I show her my phone with the message, play along. I was hoping I could have you make me a pizza. I am aware that it will come out of my paycheck. Chiku's eyes widen slightly before she nods. A pizza? Sure, I can go make you one. Excellent, please deliver it to me outside the security room when it's ready. I wink and Chiku nods once more. She departs for the pizzeria while I head back to the security room. Since I'll be taking the vents to the pizzeria, there won't be a record of me entering the basement. As far as Smiths will know, I'll never have left the security office. True to her word, Chiku is making me a pizza when I arrive. I rush from the vents, keenly aware that I might not have much time before Mari catches on. Do you trust me, Chiku? I have to try something before it's too late to do so. She stops what she's doing to give me her full attention. I do. What is it? You used to be Sophia Hart, cheerleader and sophomore at Waterfall Institute studying nuclear engineering. In an instant, Chiku has me pinned against the wall. Her eyes are rapidly flashing between red and green. Perhaps I screwed up. I must. Her eyes land on green and stays that way. You did it, Josh. You broke the code. You've broken the code lock Mr. Smith had on me. Glad to hear it. Can you, let me down now? She gently releases me and looks at her body as if seeing it for the first time. Can't believe this is what Mr. Smith turned me into. But I'm free now. I don't have to do what he tells me. Although, maybe I still should until you freed all the other girls. If he catches on, he might do bad things to them, to me, to you. You're probably not wrong, but at least your mind is your own now, yeah? Yeah, I can play pretend easily, even falsify my internal recordings to fool Mr. Smith. I could kiss you senseless right now, but I don't want to risk it. There's way too much data flowing through my head right now, but maybe later. I flash her a smile. Later sounds great. For now, finish that pizza so we can close out this charade. You've got it, Josh. 10 minutes later, I have an amazing pizza and a far less heavy conscience. Chiku's gone back to the recharging and Mary hasn't left the bar. I can do some research on my phone before 3 a.m. rolls around. I want to see if my hunch is correct and Mary isn't affected by the camera loop bug. I want to see my hunch is correct and Mary is affected by the camera loop bug. Okay, so Chiku was the... well, no, we still gotta find 0, right? Oh, gosh. In searching through old records, I find a missing person report regarding a stripper. Oh yeah, I still gotta find Bonfire. It includes a picture of her on the pole, is what sells me on it being Bonfire. I've seen an animatronic bunny do the exact bend and thigh clasp enough time for it to be as distinguishable from a normal stripper dance. The report itself from 2 years ago is minimal. Be on the lookout for Olivia Soton, 23, last seen leaving work and getting into a black sedan. If you have any information, what little else I can find suggests that Olivia was often seen getting into customers' cars. There was nothing new as far as her co-workers were concerned. It was only when Olivia didn't show up to 2 shifts in a row that the police were called and the report was filed. That's the last of the identities of the original 4 girls. All that's left to figure out is who the new girl Mari used to be. I originally was going to search for anything for 0, but for the long beings I have to focus on Mari. Alright, well, keep an eye on the cameras to see if the loop bug is still present. Mari's at the bar, so she's my metric for this. When the bug time hits, she keeps moving about in a very not looped manner. Did Smith find and fix the bug? I quickly stepped out of the security room and wave at the hallway camera while keeping an eye on the screens. I don't show up. Odd. I had to I head towards the bar, taking note of which cameras I pass to check the feeds of later. Mari stops arranging bottles as I approach. Everything alright there? Just doing my usual rounds. There's a few dead spots in the camera angles that I have to check manually. How diligent of you. Well, don't let me get in your way. I'll be fixing the bar for the rest of the night. Things are a mess back here. I'll leave you to it then. I return to the security room and pull up the camera feed playback. That's when things get even more weird. I don't show up on any of them during the loop time, even when I talk to Mari. It's as if she's always on camera, no matter what looping takes place. That's both a boon and a problem. I'll always know where she is, but if Smith scrutinizes the feed, he might catch on to any camera looping. I risk contacting Zero to see if she can provide any further insight on Mori. Explain everything that happened so far, then add, is there some kind of ward that can mess with technology? Depending on the nature of the ward in question, it can anchor a spot or person. In instant, Murray's ward keeps her omnipresence as far as security systems are concerned. He also would act as a magical guard dog, able to sense if anyone uses magic near them. I've stayed far enough away so far, but I won't be able to help you at night unless you figure out a way to get Mari out of the club or deactivate her. Damn, thanks for letting me know. That just leaves me with another chunk of time to do more research before my shift's over. Alternatively, I know Mary will be busy at the bar for the rest of the night. This may be the perfect time to plant those cameras about. Guess we'll go plant. I got 3 spice cameras to place. Thankfully, I already mapped most of the vents on my 6th night here, so I know where to put 2 of them. One camera's going as close to Smith's office vent as I can get without tripping security systems there. Oh. Another camera is likewise going near the server room secured ducts. That leaves an extra camera to plant. I decided to save the camera to watch my apartment, just in case Smith or someone related to him tries to stop by. After a little crawling around, I'm able to plant 2 cameras and return to the security room without Mari being any the wiser. Soon my shift comes to an end. I've made it through another night somehow. Woohoo! We made it through! When I get home, Zero's plushie is still waiting in its usual spot. All it takes is poking its nose a few times, boop boop boop, for a genuine article to appear. You rang? Just wanted to make sure you were okay after the whole Mary thing at work. Ah, that's sweet of you. As I said, I stayed far enough away from her to prevent any problems. Good. Any advice on how to deal with her? Unless you figured out a way to free her, keep her distance. I figured as much. Still, good advice. I have a feeling she's basically Smith's new attack dog. Probably yes. Oh well, I need to do some research before I have to sleep. Thanks for being here, Zero. She gives me a hug, then evaporates away until her plushie remains in my bed. Time for some research. Alrighty, man. This should hopefully get it. I've been through nearly every single missing persons report for the last 10 years at this point in search of Mary and Zero. I've checked the pictures, videos, everything that could lead me to figure out who Mary and Zero might be. They're the last holdouts. My mind won't let this go until I find them. And yet, it's entirely possible I may never accomplish my goal of figuring out who they once were. Maybe there's something I've missed. I'll go through everything again. That's all I can do for now. My bed is calling to me and I will not be not disappointed. I've got time for a little more research before I have to do my usual prep for work. Access. Okay. Although I've exhausted most venues to look for information, maybe something I've heard or seen recently will help me find the girls. I've been through nearly every single missing person report. Oh wait, so I just wasted. Okay, give me a second. Oh, okay. So I literally just went through it all. Okay, so continue to research coding. It's getting to be the time of night where I decided whether to go off or not. Night 9. Frina and Fexa are up on stage when I get to the club. Fexa sits down on the grand piano while Frenni sensually leaning against the instrument. The song Frenni sings is a slower one that is pretty sure I've heard before. I can't place the source though. The song swells, Frenni's voice raising as she continues to sing. Frenni pauses momentarily as the music continues to wink at me. The song falls from the crescendo, Frenni's voice falling to an almost whisper as she finishes. I applaud and cheer as the song concludes. Both girls take a bow before they do their usual disappearance tricks. This time, just Frenni emerges from out of the ether to my right. Good evening, Mr. Black. Mind if I have a private word with you? After confirming Mary isn't anywhere within my sight, I pull out my phone and type out a message to me in the VIP booths. But truthfully showed it to Frenni, then perform where the camera was watching us. Rule number 1 of the nightclub is that you cannot fuck the animatronics. I'm afraid I cannot go anywhere with you at this time. Frenni sees my message and plays along. Of course, I should have known better. Mr. Black, enjoy the rest of your night. She winks, then heads off in the direction of the VIP stairwell. As for me, I pass by the animatronics room to confirm that Mary is in her pod. All the girls are where they should be, save Chiku. Chiku is on the repair area table with a wire connected to the back of her skull to the terminal there. Glancing at the screen, it looks like the update process is 43% complete. I confirm Mary's position once more in the security room camera feeds before heading into the vents and traveling to the VIP booth. As I emerge, Frenni is there waiting for me. That's a novel idea. Use the vents. We'll just have to hope Mr. Smith doesn't catch on. Yeah, that might be rough with the new girl around, so what do you want to chat about? Her usual smile flatters. I'm concerned about Mari and the conversational suit upgrade that Mr. Smith is conducting. Bobface seems like an entirely different person now, and Fexa has been acting weird around me. As you may know, Chiku is undergoing the same process now. I can't help but worry something might happen to her, and that I'm next on the chopping block.
Speak her true name.
If past experience is an indication, all the girls have a lock that can be broken if I speak their true name. Do you trust me, Frenni? I do, yes. And I think I know who you once were. That's dangerous territory, Mr. Black. I hope you know what you're doing. Your Imada Asa used to study acting and communication at Waterfall Institute. You're also a former member of Chi Alpha Delta. Frenni's eyes go dark as she goes limp in her seat in the booth. Then she lurches upright, eyes blazing pure white. Mr. Black, my mind is my own once more. How? I found the real you with a lot of luck and researching. What do you remember? I know I've been under Mr. Smith's control for 4 years. Ever since Professor Barwold kidnapped me during the thunderstorm. Frenni looks over her body as if seeing it for the first time. They really did a number on us girls, didn't they? But this is wonderful. I feel like I could sing, but won't for fear of luring out Mari. Am I the only one you've freed? I freed both Chiku and Fexa before you. I see, then Fexa's been acting different because you broke Mr. Smith's control over her. Was it due to the conversational suit upgrade? Yep, it didn't take for Fexa, which gave me the chance to try something crazy. Then I should continue to play my part until you find a way to fully take control away from Mr. Smith. I don't know how much help I can be, but I am no longer limited by restrictions on certain topics. Let's start with the most pressing issue. Do you know a way of getting into Smith's office without tripping alarms or alerting Mari? While most of my memories of entering Mr. Smith's office have been erased, I retain several snippets that may be useful. He uses an Iron Turtle brand smart lock, capable of sending alerts to his smartphone whenever someone tries to open the door. Smith does not use the key slot to open the door. Instead, he uses a signal from his phone. A similar lock secures the server room. Iron Turtle smart lock. Got it. Do you know if the professor has any accomplices besides Mr. Smith? My understanding is that Mr. Smith and the professor were roommates in college. Where Mr. Smith went on to run a business, this nightclub. Professor Ballward went on to teach in the university. Mr. Smith is the dormant one in the relationship, or at least I've witnessed him bullying and pressuring Professor Ballward into doing things for him. Like capturing you and the other girls? Like that indeed. To answer your question though, I do not know if the professor is working with anyone else. Is he the source of the animatronic bodies? Bonfi hinted at that being a new model being made. Do you know anything about that? Close. Professor Ballwold provides the coding and monitoring software, while Mr. Smith conducts the body and performs his soul entrapping process. As for this new model, I think it might be a new frame for either myself or Fexa. I grimace as darker questions come to mind. If it's not too painful, what was that like, being turned into an animatronic and enslaved under Smith? Freddy looks past me with a neutral expression. What I can say is that there was not a single moment where I wasn't screaming inside of this metal shell. My only release and means of fighting back was singing, judging by the fact we're having this conversation. At least some of my intent must have reached you. Gods, that's awful. I'm sorry it took so long to come to this point. But I have to know, since Mary is now here, is Smith planning to capture more girls? Your songs kept hinting towards time running out. Mr. Smith plans to go public 6 days from now, with plans to create a chain of nightclubs like this. Well, dang. He'll leave out the unpleasant bits like capturing souls and stuffing them in animatronics when talking to investors. But he has plans for several other abductions. Once he starts getting investors to sign on, it'll be extremely difficult to stop him. Fuck, then I only have 5 nights to work with. Alright, that's fine. We can do this. Your management role, do you have any power over Bonfi or Mary? To a limited degree, should power go out and you were not present or unable to be located, I would become the highest authority in the building. Otherwise, I can only heavily suggest where the girl should go. Sounds like I need to get my hands on supplies for a thunderstorm creation ritual. Speaking of magic stuff, have you noticed anything paranormal about Mr. Smith or his office? There are odd symbols on the wall of his office and server room. I've also seen him wearing a strange pendant that resembles an inverted cross. I wonder what that's about. You wouldn't happen to remember the previous night guard that almost broke you free? Mike Smith, I think? Yes, he was so close to discovering our names, but in his zeal, he forgot to cover his tracks, and Mr. Smith caught on. What happened after that was not pleasant. I didn't directly observe Mr. Smith's demise, but I know he ended up dead at the bottom of a nearby river. Well, damn. Alrighty, one last question before I hurry back to the security room. This one should hopefully be a bit of a breather. Do you still feel a desire to... I don't know if you girls are just... or if that's just your programming. Frenni smiles, leans in, runs a hand down the side of my neck, then whispers into my left ear. I'd you through the floor right now if we had time and Mary wouldn't find out. Right, it is. Thanks, Frenni. Until I figure out the Mari situation, be careful what you send and say in front of the cameras. We don't want to blow our cover. Of course, Mr. Black, just remember, 5 nights before the deadline. My goodness, guys, 5 nights at Fazclaires. Well, Smith hasn't left me any nightly orders, so I have plenty of free time on my hands. Should probably check in on Chico once her upgrade is over. For now, I might as well do some research. Alrighty, coding's almost there. Now that I've mastered the fundamentals of coding, I'm ready to research more advanced topics such as artificial intelligence. With the trial and error, I'm able to take basic AI stuff that it can do things like Tower or Hanai and chess. How close any of this is to the girls' programming, I haven't a clue. But I'm hopeful it's be at least semi-useful. It'll be semi-useful. With the chunk of research done, I look for Chiku's finish. With that chunk of research done, it looks like Chiku's finished her upgrade. Time to check in on her. When I enter the repair room, the wire connecting Chiku to the terminal has been removed. She seems to be waiting for input. My presence serves as the stimuli. Hi Josh, upgrade's done. How do you feel? Not so different. Maybe like I have a little more pep. It reminds me of something I used to do. She pauses and winks at me. Can I talk about that right now? But I can't talk about that right now. How's the night shift been so far? Quiet and uneventful. You and Frenni are the only ones active so far. Frenni turned in about an hour ago. A few hours ago. I see. I should probably start recharging as well. The upgrade was running for a long time, so I need to make up for lost hours. Otherwise, I'll zoink out in the middle of the day shift. Let me see you to your pod then. Chiku giggles and happily takes my hand. By the time she settles into her pod, I see that Mary is waking up. Mary winks and waves at me before going to roam the building. That's going to mean I can't do much else this evening. I could use a few hours of relaxation after everything that happened so far this week. Soon my shift comes to an end. I made it through another night somehow. Night 9 complete. Whoa, rich. I return home to a wonderful meal of waffles and strawberries, as prepared by Zero. As I enjoy her cooking, I can't help but wonder, how did she make the waffles? I don't have a waffle iron. Perhaps it's best that I not question these things. Zero insists on handling the cleanup despite me offering to help out. And it gives me time to do some research before bed. Alright, we're going to magic. Call upon Zero and sit against her in bed while with her help, I am able to research magic more efficiently. Now that I know more about wards, I know how to subvert even those put in place by a master. If I could sneak a particular sigil onto Smith, I could hex him or invite demons from beyond to torment him. The trouble is actually meeting Smith in the flesh. So far I haven't had that pleasure even after working at the nightclub all this time. I also think I understand the proper sigils to bind a soul to an object like Zero in her plushie. With a little more effort, I might be able to crack how the girls' souls are bound to the animatronics. Once I fall asleep, my dreams are hazy and more like nightmares. I feel like I'm running from something that, if it catches me, means my end. Keep looking back over my shoulder in the dreamscape, but see nothing but the swirling mists of inky darkness. Yet I can feel freezing cold claws reaching out, just barely missing my skin as I keep running. Awake with a jolt, covered in cold sweat and out of breath. Zero's at my side, concerned. Is everything alright? You were writhing about. Was it a nightmare? Yeah, a pretty vivid one too. Been a while since I've had one like that. Will you be okay? Is there anything I can do to help? I'll be fine in a few moments. Just have to let the initial wave of shock wash off. Alright, if you're sure. Just summon me if you need anything. I get up, hit the shower, and check the news with my extra free time. Of note, the weather report shows that there will be a storm system moving through the area at the night of the Halloween into November 1st. If ever there was a good time to attempt to get into Mr. Smith's office and the server room, it would be during a thunderstorm when the power might go out. That way the girls will be more control over themselves and most of the security systems will be running on backup power. As part of my paranormal research, I know there is a ritual to summon a thunderstorm. However, I'll lack the components for such. I'll have to find a magic store that carries them. With nothing else to do tonight before work, I just have to handle the usual conundrums. Night 10! All the girls are active tonight when I step inside the club. Frenni, Chiku, Fexa, and Bonfire are all practicing on stage, while Mary is manning the bar. I wave to each, but don't linger on my way to check out whatever task list Smith has left for me tonight. Good thing I didn't waste any time. Smith left me a lengthy set of notes. We're about to hit the big leagues, kid. I've got potential investors coming in 5 days. If all goes well, we'll be taking this operation across the country. And that means you'll be getting a raise and a promotion. Won't be easy finding night guards like you that understand not to fuck the animatronics, but that's a future problem. For now, we got to get this club looking the best it can to really wow the investors. There will be a second note underneath this one. Get to it. Sure enough, there's a list of tasks, longer than any he's given to me so far. Deep clean the VIP booths, scrub the dance floor, clean and prepare the pizzeria. Help Mara stock the bar, adjust the sound system to correct equalizations, clean the staff locker room, and do not fuck the animatronics. I don't like the sound of deep clean, but I might as well handle the VIP booths first. Thankfully, there's a proper wet vac and gloves for me to use when I check the janitor closet. There's also a handheld UV light. Oh gosh. I really hope things aren't as bad as I suspect they are. At first, the VIP booth looks perfectly fine. There's no stains of any kind until then I turn on the UV light. Oh gosh, guys. Either there has been egregious violation of Rule 1 or several people's worth of blood has been splattered all over every surface. I just hope those splashes on and beneath the stripper poles are from customers and not messing with the girls. In fact, the more I look at the horror before me, the more I realize that Rule 1 said nothing about in front of the animatronics fair. And since this is the VIP area, there's no footage to haunt anyone's deviant enough to pay for the sort of experience. I gotta give Smith a hand once again. Well done. But holy fuck, is this a lot of surface to clean up. Making sure my gloves are on, I set to work. I might as well hit up the courts in the morning, as I'll need to change my name to Mr. Clean, with how through I am. By the time I'm finished, there's not a single speck on the UV light, and everything smells faintly of roses. But the real reward is for my attention to detail comes in the form of finding a thumb drive buried in the cushions of one of the booths. And it's labeled the name Borrowed, and it's attached to a keyring with the logo of Waterfall Institute. I have no idea how they lost this, how long it's been there, or how important it is. If I correctly recall that Frenni said when I freed her, Borrowed has been partners with Smith since college. Borrowed does the coding and monitoring software for the girls, which means the USB stick could hold valuable data I can look through. For now, I pocket the USB stick to investigate at home. In any event, I hope that Smith isn't going to make me deep clean the VIP booths every night. Or at least that Smith controls the VIP area better during tomorrow's day shift. I wrap up my work in the VIP area and move on to cleaning the dance floor. With the girls practicing and Mary managing the bar, I have plenty of distractions while I clean the dance floor. Scrubbing takes me longer than I expect, yet I still finish without losing too much time staring at the stage or glaring over at Mary. It's not the best cleaning in the world, especially comparing to the magic I worked upstairs, but it will do for now. Next, I moved to the pizzeria. It's thankfully cleaner than everywhere else in the club. That's probably because the day shift probably takes pride in his work and keeps a sterile environment despite it being a secret pizza making operation. I don't have to do all that much to freshen the place up and prepare the pizza ingredients for the next day shift. I'm on my way back up the secret shift lift when I hear the sound system screech and cut out in mid-song. I poke my head out from around the stage curtain and see the girls checking their instruments and microphones. Everything alright? I believe there is a glitch in the second system, Mr. Black. Mind resetting it while you're back there? Sure thing. The sound system seems like a wall of alien hieroglyphics at first glance. Then I noticed the various color coding and strips of light that match up with the instructions that Smith left. One power cycle and several adjusted nods later, the sound system clicks back to life. Try now. Frenni tries to quick hum into her microphone. The tone carries clearly throughout the club at perfect pitch and volume. Excellent job, Mr. Black. Thank you. Let's make up for lost times, girls. That just leaves 2 tasks for me tonight. Helping Mary and cleaning the locker room. Oh, and not fucking animatronics, but that's a given. As I approach the bar, Mary is doing the bartender classic of cleaning glasses with a rag. Well, Mary, anything in particular you need me to snag from the back room? Let's see, I need 3 bags of ice, 2 bottles of vodka, and a syrup box of cola. You've got it. The bottles of vodka and syrup box are easily enough to cart between rooms. The bag of ice, though, require me to go in the walk-in freezer. There's no handle or way to get out of the freezer once you're inside and the door closes. I make sure to prop open the door with everything to prevent me being locked into the freezer by accident. Hang on, if I can lure Mary into the freezer somehow, seal the door behind her, she'd be stuck in here until someone lets her out. And if I remember that Frenni said last night. If I remember what Frenni said last night. Should power go out and you were not present or unable to be located, I would become the highest authority in the building. Otherwise, I can only heavily suggest where the girls should go. That means when the power goes out, I can hide somewhere long enough for Frenni to gain authority over Mari. Then Frenni could order Mary into the freezer. Genius. Of course, I'd like to free Mary if I can, so I don't have to trap her in the freezer. At least now I have a plan for Mary moving forward. I try not to smile too much as I deliver the requested bags of ice to Mary. My good mood still leaks through, though, as Mary picks up on it. You seem happier than when you started. Does carting around bags of ice do it for you? Because if it does... Mary picks up an ice cube and does things to it with her tongue that I'm pretty sure violates the Geneva Convention. I remain resolute to the face of seduction, but this isn't this isn't the first time one of the girls tried something like this. I'm a pro at controlling my impulses by now. Nah, I just like the cold in general. Anyways, if that's all, I've got one last thing to do before I'm finally done with all the tasks, my tasks for tonight. Fine, go do your thing. Cleaning the staff locker room is a cakewalk compared to what I've cleaned so far tonight. I finished my last task in less than half an hour. As I'm putting things away in the janitor closet, I'm treated to a sight of Frenni heading for one of the showers. I can't show you guys none of this. Well, after this, we'll see. Frenni makes eye contact with me and winks after turning on the water. I check the door, then move over to explain my plan for Mary and the freezer in a hushed tone. Frenni doesn't verbally reply, but instead she nods purposefully while maintaining eye contact. Before I go, I hung up a towel for Frenni. It's the least I can do. Alright, I didn't show anything. By the time I finally sit down at the security room desk, it's nearly the end of my shift. Kinda wish I had more time to interact with the girls tonight, but I can't disappoint Smith by leaving a task unfinished. Smith will get his eventually. I'm hoping something on the professor's USB stick will help me deal with Smith. That will have to wait until I get home. Though, it's too risky to do anything with the USB stick at the club. Soon my shift comes to an end. Night 10. I made it through another night somehow. First thing I do when I get home is to check out the USB drive I found. Just to be on the safe side, I set up a sandbox environment on my laptop before plugging the drive in. Good thing too, as I have to run a few commands to get the USB stick to even register on my computer. The whole drive is encrypted by a password, so I couldn't immediately see the data inside. I tried a few things, but ultimately I don't have the skills to investigate the USB drive further. Before I turned in for the night, I checked the audio capture for the spy cameras I planted. I got lucky. One of the cameras captured one side of a phone conversation between Smith and an unknown party. We'll need a pick location where it's easily to Yes, No, I don't do that myself. My business partners handle that. Yes, I see. We'll chat more in person in a few days. I'll show you what the girls are capable of personally. Nice chatting with you too, Mr. Valudi. Ciao. The conversation isn't enough to outright implicate Smith, but it does clue me in that he already testing the waters with some of the investors ahead of schedule. This Mr. Valudi is particularly might be someone worth looking into if I can find the time for it. Because if I'm able to pull off a break-in heist and bring Smith down, it's going to be me meeting with the investors. That, or I'll need to know how to tell the investors to fuck off without them coming down on me. After such a long active shift at the club, I'm dead tired. I'm out the moment my head hits the pillow. Got a solid 8 hours of sleep before my alarm wakes me up at the usual time. I'll wake up to find Zero's plushie hugging my face and holding a note. I left you a nice club sandwich in the fridge. Summon me if you need me. I really don't deserve Zero. I should do something nice for her at some point. After eating, I have some time prior to work. With that time I have before work, I could do a little research. We'll do, continue to do more research coding. All that's left before I have to get going is the usual decision. At 11. Smith's left a short note on the reception desk tonight. We lost our day shift cook, so I've had to retask Chiku to recover the pizzeria. Help her out tonight. If you need an extra pair of hands, rope in Bonfight. And no fucking animatronics, but you know that already. Ciao. I have some strong opinions and words I'd like to say to Smith regarding that note, but that will have to wait. Sounds like I need to head to the pizzeria on the double, and question is whether to bring in Bonfire or not. If I manage to get Bonfire in the pizzeria and out of sight of the cameras, that could be a chance for her to free her. The question is, do I risk something going wrong since Bonfi was one of the first to get that update a few nights back? We're gonna have her help. An extra pair of hands would help tonight, especially if things are as bad as the pizzeria Smith's note hints at. This might also be the only shot I got at freeing Bonfi. I stopped by the animatronics room to find all the girls, save Chiku and their pods. All it takes is knocking on Bonfi's pod to wake her up. What's up, Josh? Would you mind coming down to the pizzeria with me? Smith wants us to help Chiku make up for the loss of the day shift cook. Sure, lead the way. To say the pizzeria is a mess would be a gross understatement. There's dough, toppings, and other ingredients stewed about the place as if a tornado came through. Chiku is in the middle of it all, trying to clean best she can. Oh hey Josh and Bonfi, I'm glad you're here. As you can see, the day shift cook made quite the mess when he quit. Why though? Did Smith fire him or something? Sorta, I guess. The cook asked for a raise, but with the investor meeting coming up soon, Mr. Smith offered or must have been terribly insulting to upset the cook like that. I'll say a mess like this could only have been made from pure, unfiltered French rage. Frankly, I'm surprised he didn't try burning the whole place down. He could point into the oven where there were several large scorch marks on the surrounding walls and floors. Oh, he did try that. Luckily, I happened to come check on him, and I was able to put out the fires on time. Oh gosh. I guess that explains why Mr. Smith actually called the cops and had the guy taken out in cuffs. I'm a little worried about running the pizzeria on my own, until we get a replacement chef, but I'll manage somehow. Assuming, of course, we can get all of this cleaned up. Hand me that mop and bucket and I'll get to it. I'll start prying the dough off the ceiling and walls. Even after an hour of work, the three of us have barely managed to make a dent in the chaos. Now might be a good time as any to try and free Bonfi. Chiku's close at hand should things go sideways. Crap, I type out a message on my phone while Bonfi engrosses in cleaning the back corner of the pizzeria. And then get Chiku's attention and show her my phone. Chiku nods and moves closer so she can grab Bonfi should things go south. Hey Bonfi. What's up? Here goes nothing. Wake up, Olivia Sultan. Bonfi's eyes go dark as she collapses on the spot. Begin to worry that something may have gone wrong until Bonfi jolts right up, her eyes pure white. Whoa, nice trick, Josh. How did you manage to break Smith's hold on my mind? All I took was finding your real name in a sea of missing person reports. If it weren't for your trademark thigh claps, I likely wouldn't have found you. Well, isn't that something? I'm guessing Chiku here is free as well. Yep. Yes, Josh freed me several days ago. I've been pretending ever since. You'll need to pretend too until Josh figures out a way to get rid of Mr. Smith. About that, I have a plan in the works. There's two major factories in its success. First, if the power were to go out, I'd have more time to break into Smith's office and the server room without him getting an alert. Second, there's Mari. I'm still searching for her identity, but if I can't find it soon, we'll have to lock her in a freezer when the plan starts. Well, if you want my help with that, just let me know. Me too, anything to stop other girls from ending up like us. Thanks, you two. If you're alright, Bonfi, perhaps we should get back to cleaning. There's a lot to deal with here, but I think both Chico and I would understand if you need a moment to process things. Bonfi grabs the fallen mop and snaps a salute. Don't worry, boss, I'm a pretty easygoing girl, even when my life's been turned upside down. Doesn't take much for me to bounce back when someone slaps my ass. Ah, so I see. As Chiku, Bonfi, and I continue chipping away at the mess, Chica speaks up. I'm a little worried. About what? About those investors. Will they really just give up and leave us alone if Josh gets rid of Mr. Smith? I mean, I was tossed around the idea of meeting with the investors myself and seeing if any of them are worth partnering with. Though I will freely admit I don't have much of a mind for business. You say that now, despite pulling off miracles like freeing Chico and me in less than 2 full weeks of effort. I'm sure you could easily pick up the basics if you just give it a try. Give it a try. Though now, I'm curious, have you got into Fexa and Frenni yet? Yep, all the girls here save Mary are free of Smith's control. Here, safe, except for Mary. Yeah. I see, let's hope things work out then. What will you do if they don't, though? How do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, what if you can't stop Mr. Smith? What if there's no way of getting rid of the investors? What if something happens to you, Josh? The way Chico's voice trembles tells she's on the verge of tears. Oh no! I drop what I'm doing to go over and give her a great bear hug. Yes, she deserves the hugs. I'll figure something out, I promise. Everything will be okay. Chico squishes me back a little too tightly. Promise? Promise. Chico lets me go and shakes her head. Sorry, I know I can be sensitive sometimes. You're fine, Chiku. I think it's understandable to feel that way, given what you've been through. Besides, you being sensitive is something guys love. Really? Yep. A small smile forms on Chico's face. Yay! A period of silence passes before Chico speaks up again. Can I ask a question of you two? You just did, silly, but sure. If you had just one single day before you were gone, who would you spend it with? Buffy beats me to the punch. That's a good question. Josh, you avoided me asking something similar a few nights ago. Are you still playing the nice guy? Or has that changed since I last asked? I mean, we're just gonna be like... After doing some thinking, I've changed my mind. I picked Chiku. I see. I'd love to know what made you change your mind. Yeah, no. I'm just still go with my, After doing some thinking, I've changed my mind. I'm just not interested in any of the girls here at the club, sorry. I see. I'd love to know what made you change your mind. It's complicated, and I'd rather not go into details to avoid causing potential drama. Sorry. Oh, come on. This is where you pour your heart out and reveal your vulnerable side. It's okay, Bonfi. Josh doesn't have to explain if he doesn't want to. But I'm curious, who would you pick, Bonfi? I might go for the new girl, Mari, just to try something new before I go out. I see. I'm not sure who I'd pick. Maybe Josh? I give Chiku a wink. Thanks for the votes of confidence. Crazy how talking means work flies by. Crazy how talking means work flies by that much quicker. We're nearly done cleaning. Let's give it one last push. With just 30 minutes to spare before the end of the night shift, Bonfi, Chiku, and I finish cleaning the pizzeria. See the girls to the pods before finishing out the rest of my time. I've made it through another night somehow. There's 3 more nights. When I get home, Zero's in her plush form. I'm still pretty energized despite having spent all night cleaning. I could probably get some research done. I call upon Zero and sit back against her in bed. With her help, I'm able to research magic more efficiently. And furthering my understanding of Ward, I've discovered 3 important types revealing 2 things here at the nightclub. First, there's things called a memory obliteration word that designed to erase biological and technological records of anything in the area of effect. That might be particularly why the girl doesn't have a record of anything that goes on in Smith's office or the server room. Second, there's a magical detection word means to sense the alert when someone attempts magecraft nearby. Smith probably has those booths on his office and in his person. Third, there's a soul binding word that must be how Smith bounds the girl's soul to the animatronics. These are hard to dispel, let alone create in the first place. I'd need instructions from a master in order to understand how to modify, create, or destroy one. Fortunately, there are no such masters available on the internet. No legit ones anyways. 8 hours later, I wake feeling refreshed and alert. Zero left out a nice ham and switched sub roll for me. I chow down as I debate what to do before work. I should use my time wisely before work and do some research. We'll do some more AI, continue to research coding. All that's left before work is the usual decision. Night 12. Smith left another note on the reception desk for the evening. Got good news for you, kid. Frenni's been upgraded, and you're in charge of helping her acclimate to her new body. Acclimate to a new body. I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. Alright. You'll also be responsible for taking her around the strip tomorrow while the club is closed. Well, we want our biggest star seen and heard before the investors come in. So that means she'll be performing her heart out under your watch. Don't let it go to your head and end up breaking rule 1. I will know. Ciao. Ah, hell, Frenni's been upgraded? That's not good. I have no idea if Frenni's been re-shackled or if her mind is still her own. If I'm not careful in how I approach her, and she's become Smith's puppet again, everything could come crashing down. There's also a part about Frenni shadowing me while the club closed. If Frenni's is still free, then I imagine it won't be too difficult to do my usual things on my day off while also taking her around town. One way or another, all roads lead to me figuring out just how Frenni's changed. All the girls are in their pods when I enter the animatronics room. From what I can tell through the window into Frenni's pod, she's undergone quite the transformation. Her outfit has been changed completely, somehow containing her upgraded assets in a manner that still makes her a femme fatale. Frenni's hair has also been let down in her new model as unexpected but welcome surprise. Goddamn, can I read? I wonder what else about her has changed. Only one way to find out. I tap the controls and wake Frenni up. She yawns as she steps out of her pod. Good evening, Mr. Black. How are you doing this evening? I'm doing fine, thanks. How's the new body treating you? It looks amazing to me, though I hope it didn't come at the cost of some features. Frenni reads between the lines of what I've said. Her eyes turn green for a moment and she winks. The upgrade process only enhanced what was already there. Though, I will admit, I'm still getting used to the new subroutine and features of this body. Any particular features of note giving you a problem? Smith told me I'm to work with you tonight and in the daytime while the club is closed. Frenni cocks her head to the side. Yes, I can see that Mr. Smith left me a digital version of the note you have seen. As for troublesome features, let's see. There is a matter of balancing my vocal processors. I have the old settings for my previous body, but as with all new audio equipment, the only way to ensure things work is to test them. Would it help if we brought in Chico and Bonfi? They seem fairly well versed in such things. That depends on their status and if they are free tonight. I catch her subtle emphasis on the word free. Both Chico and Bonfi should be available. I see. In that case, I'll leave it to your discretion to help us out tonight. We'll get, well, I guess I should save. Let's grab both Bonfi and Chico. Tuning your vocals will be easier with experts. A wonderful idea, though I believe they'll only be able to help us for a short period with their current charge level. What's up, Josh? I was hoping you two would be able to help Frenni retune her vocal suit. Sure, we can do that for a little bit, but not for too long with my battery level. Same here. Love the new look, by the way, Frenni. Why, thank you, Bonfi. Did Mr. Smith do anything extra to you when moving over? I admit I'm not sure if Mr. Smith did anything special or extra during the transfer process. However, I am currently free of any immediate bugs or concerns beside my vocal suit. Everyone present shares a knowing look. We can't risk anything further in rage of the cameras, though. Shall we adore to the stage and get to work? The girls take the stage and begin a series of exercises to help Frenni tune herself. As Benny belts out show tunes, Chiku provides a harmonizing tune, and Bonfi a series of musical stills. They go through a whole range of songs and beats, from sad and slow to happy and fast. The three quickly narrow in on what adjustments are needed, even if Frenni sounds perfect to any untrained ear. Thank you both for your assistance. You've saved Mr. Black and I some time. Don't mention it. Yeah, we are happy to help. How are you charge levels, Bonfi and Chiku? I'm running really low. Same, sorry, we can't stick around any for longer. It's quite alright. You two head back to your pods now. For now. Thanks again. So, what now, Frenni? I should probably head to the VIP booth to ensure I can still pole dance in this new body. The momentary flash of green hints that she might want to talk more in private. Is it safe to meet Frenni with the potential of Mary waking up, though? Just in case. As much as Frenni and I will have ample opportunities to chat during the upcoming days, I get the sense she has something urgent to tell me. Well, just have to take the risk of Mary finding out. Make eye contact and nod my head just a bit so Frenni hopefully gets my meeting. Have fun, I'll be in the security room if you need me. Of course, Mr. Black. I'll meet back up with you at closing time. Frenni is indeed pole dancing when I arrive through the vents. She comes to a stop, moves to the cushion, then pats next to her. Thank you for coming. I'll try to be quick. In short, Mr. Smith is having me follow you around during the day because he's starting to suspect something is up. I don't think he has anything more than a gut feeling born of the paranoia surrounding the investors meeting coming up. In fact, I wasn't even slated for this body upgrade until after the investors meeting. Then he upgraded you just to make sure he had full control over you, as he does Murray. Appears to be the case, though thanks to your timely subversion a few nights ago, his shackles couldn't bind me again. What was that about, subversion and shackles? Fuck, Mari's here and she looks livid. Frenni moves to provide a barrier between Mari and I, but it might not be enough to get me out of here alive. Hold on, it's not what you think. Oh, I think it is. It is what I think it is. I can't have either of you ruining Mr. Smith's plans. So yeah, I can't do this. Okay, we're just gonna go. Alright, so sadly we're just gonna have to don't risk it. If Frenni and I are going to be spending the day together too, there will be plenty of time to have the private chat later. Make eye contact and shake my head just a bit so she hopefully gets my meaning. Have fun, I'll be in the security room if you need me. Of course, Miss Black, I'll meet back up here at closing time. Not 15 minutes after I sit down in the security room, I see via the camera that Maria woke up and leaving her pod. The very first thing Maria does is goes upstairs to the VIP area before moving to the bar. There's no way I'll be able to chat with Frenni further while at the club, not while Maria's wandering around. Might as well do some research to kill time. Three hours later, Frenni pokes her head into the security room. I believe it's time for us to head out, Mr. Black. Right, I've made it through another night somehow. Night 12. I would normally have 15 hours to do whatever I want since the club is closed until Monday. However, there's a matter of seeing Frenni around the strip as Smith asked. Even if Frenni is free, it would be very easy for Smith to check if I skip that part of his task list. I can't imagine it'll be too challenging to play escort for Frenni. Though before we begin, I stop by the park to have a chat with Frenni. Now that we're out of the club and away from Ms. Smith's eyes and ears, I gotta ask, are you sure the upgrade to this new body didn't change anything about your shackles? Fairly certain, yes, though there was one interesting thing I noted. Oh, when we were working with Chico and Bonfi earlier, I picked up on a new subroutine. The short version is that Mr. Smith has added an additional way for me to enforce any commands they give. It's not a control electric shock per se, more like a mental version of one. The shock is meant to temporarily assert the same command authority to a night guard or Mr. Smith has. The use of this mental jolt is logged, but doesn't send an alert to Mr. Smith. That might be useful when dealing with Maria in the future. Anything else stand out? Anything at all? Well, my new batteries are able to hold triple the charge compared to my old body. Other than that, nothing else stands out. The upgrade was largely limited to aesthetic changes thanks to you freeing me. Good to know. I'll have to show you around town today to keep up appearances. Indeed, though since I'm free, I can somewhat falsify my locks and give you some breathing room if you need to do anything. Mr. Smith will also be checking the Rule 1 compliance, but you probably have guessed that already. Joke's on him. I've not come this far only to slip up now. Well then, where should we start our tour? Let's knock out some shopping. Luckily, the places I have in mind shouldn't be too outlandish for you to be nearby where I shop. Thanks to some unexpected bills with my apartment, I'll have half as much as a paycheck to spend this week. There's a churro store over on 18th Street, putting it firmly in the Little Korea district of the city. The shop has a simple sign above the door that reads Cheerios along with the Korean translation. Looks like a little rustic in that door is weathered, and the display case window is scratched and slightly fogged. Frenni sets up on the street corner nearby as I head into the shop. Inside, the shelves are packed to the capacity with knickknacks, antiques, and strange objects without obvious purposes. The owner is a wizened Korean woman that is hunched over a cane as she hobbles to meet me. When she speaks, it's with an accent, ancient, educated, and mysterious voice.
Madam Cheyenne, welcome to my little shop. I'm Ray Cheyenne. What brings you here?
I'm looking into the magic stuff. My research tells me you're a genuine shop for such things. Madame Cheo chuckles and grins. Perhaps. It depends what you are looking for. Since I can tell you are a new practitioner, I will only sell you materials that I judge you can safely use. Although, she squints at me as if trying to see my aura. I thought I saw something in your aura, though it must have been my imagination. Take a look around and let me know if you spot anything you want. Okay, we'll get the thunderstorm summoning, and we're gonna get the soul binding material. Thanks to my research, I spot some of the components to bind a soul to a vessel. I purchased them thinking they'll come in handy should I figure out a way to completely free one of the girls. Or maybe I can give Smith a taste of his own medicine if it comes down to it. And then we're gonna go to the surplus. Might as well get the gun, right? I've never owned or fired a gun before, but with recent events, I feel like I should get one. I point at the revolver in one of the display cases and ask if I could buy it. You collected or plan on using for defense? You're collecting or planning on using a defense? The later. Frank grants and pulls out a stack of forms. Fill these out, you made a good choice. This is the greatest handgun ever made. 6 bullets, more than enough to kill anything that moves. But just to be on the safe side, I'll give you 12. I set to file out the requisited paperwork. Most of it is government registration stuff to cover both Frank's and my ass. Frank puts the gun in the black box along with the bullets. After I pay, he hands it over. Enjoy. Anything else I can get for you? Nope. Spend the rest of the day taking Frenni from place to place, both to sightseeing and to be seen. Frenni even does a few impromptu performances at the major busking points to spread the word of the club. Surprisingly, we only got a handful of odd looks and questions about whether Frenni is cosplaying or an actual animatronic. Guess it goes to show that this city is well known for its weirdness. We return to my apartment far after the sun has gone down. I text Zero ahead of time, so she knew Frenni and I were coming. Zero's plushie is on my bed when I open the door, so I know she's nearby if things go south. This is a bit of a tight squeeze, isn't it? It's not so bad. My roommate hardly takes up any space whatsoever. What do you mean? Do you mean you have a pet of some kind? Here, it'll be easier if I show you. Come on out, Zero. Hello, Frenni. I'm Zero. You are a ghost of some kind? The ghost of the first woman Smith tried to force into an animatronic, yes. I see. Perhaps you should start at the beginning, Mr. Black, so we're all on the same page. I take the time to explain everything to Frenni. Frenni listens intently, asks quite a few clarifying questions here and there. It'll well into the night by the time I wrap up the story. It's well, and that's everything I know up to we left the club earlier today. Quite to tell, Mr. Black. If it were anyone else telling me all that, I might think it was fanciful bit of fiction. Yet I cannot ignore the evidence literally standing and floating in front of me. It's a good thing I can Falsify my logs. Mr. Smith had me follow you today because he suspected something like this was going on. Figure Smith always was too paranoid for his own good. Speaking of which, should I probably get going back to the club so Mr. Smith doesn't suspect anything further? It was lovely to have met you, Zero. Let us hope we meet again in more favorable circumstance. Now that that's over with, let me fix you a meal, Josh. Zero treats me to a wonderful meal of bacon and eggs. By the time I finish my meal, I'm dead tired. I want to attempt to summon a thunderstorm earlier than November 1st, so I have to do it before I go to sleep. The ritual takes 24 hours to kick in, assuming it works, of course. The one thing that gives me a reasonable chance of success is the ectoplasm from Zero. It's not guaranteeing the ritual will work though. Even if the ritual fails, I should still commit to making my break-in attempt as if it had. The way Zero knows how to make an appearance at the club to help me out. Alright, we're gonna see if we can attempt it. One way or another, things will end on my 13th night at Frenni Fazclaires. The weather ritual isn't especially difficult, just time-consuming. I check the weather once the ritual is complete and see that a new supercell is forming in the west. The storm is particularly charged and focused, producing more lightning strikes, high winds, and other chances to knock out the power. Despite the storm's sudden appearance, the meteorologists are acting like it's normal for this time of year. They're calling for a severe thunderstorm watch in the local area, meaning the storm will arrive right on time on the 31st. I can hear the wind picking up outside as rain begins to dash against my window. A rumble of thunder and flashes of distant lightning confirms that the weather control ritual worked. That will make things easier once I get to the club. Zero helps me run through the checklist as I strap up. Trying to figure out if I should wait, because it's only the 13th, right? Gun? Body armor? Anti-ward paper? A kiss for good luck? Check my pocket one final time. That kiss is all I'm missing. Zero floats closer and gives me a light peck on the cheek. I'll be standing by to manifest once you deal with Murray and the wards. Good, you know what to do if you don't come back, right? Yes, go haunt the... You know what to do if I don't come back, right? Yeah, yes, go haunt the next night guard or a priest until they confront Smith. Yep, well, this is it. Go time. October 31st. It's go time, guys. We did it. The rain is coming down like a monsoon by the time I get inside the club. Between the powerful winds and the frequent lightning strikes, a power outage could happen at any time. I just have to be ready to enact my plan the moment an outrage occurs. Smith left another note on the reception desk for the evening. Simple job for you tonight, kid. Make sure the girls complete their recharge sequence and are not running around willy-nilly. Remember, they're just machines. Assert your authority and they should listen. And just know that if the power goes out for an extended period, I will be checking the logs. Ciao. I have some strong opinions that the words I'd like to say to Smith regarding that note, but that will have to wait. For now, I have to wait and pray for the power outage. My biggest concern and potential roadblock tonight is Mari. Well, she's still under Smith's control, and she's not going to break into Smith's office easy. The good news is Frenni's new command subroute should allow her to order Mary around during a power outage. That means all I have to do is wait for the thunderstorm to knock out the power, then hide in the vents so Frenni gets command authority. With all that in mind, I take one last stock of my situation in the security room. I just have to wait for the power to go out to make my move. An hour passes, then another. By the third hour, I'm starting to worry that the power might not go out. The lights have flickered a few times, but they haven't gone out completely. It's right around the usual camera loop time that the entire building shakes from the near direct lightning strike. The power instantly cuts out and I dive into the vents. Moments later, I hear the girls knocking on the security room door. Mr. Black, are you in there? Time to come out and play, hot stuff. Cuddles? Let me fix you a drink straight from the tap. Bumpy doesn't say anything. The girls keep calling out for me for 5 minutes before Frenni opens the door herself. I hear them filling into the security room and searching for me. Looks like I'm the highest authority until we find Mr. Black. Let's go check the storage room and a few other places. Maybe they are there. I hear the girls leaving the security room. Once I think it's safe, I crawl through the vents towards Smith's office. Once in position, I wait. 10 minutes pass before I get a text from Frenni. Mary has been entombed within the freezer. The rest of us will remain here on standby to ensure they don't break out. Wonderful, let's hope our luck holds out. As I run up to Smith's office door, I realize I have no idea how to break open the lock. I guess I'm soldier checking this door open. Once the door is open, I quickly step inside. I'm not sure what I was expecting to see inside the office. There's an up-to-10 wooden desk with a high-backed leather chair as the counterpiece. Then there's a number of plush, purple couches, zebra striped carpets, giant beanbag chairs, and double minibars. On the walls are pinned up posters of the girls and other bits of advertising for the club. A quick check behind the poster confirms that there's recently established wards on the walls. I'm able to subvert and destroy those wards, so Zero can at least join me in the office if need be. Aside from that, there's just a laptop on the desk along with a landline phone. There's no immediate sign of a way to get into the server room. The entrance has to be here somewhere, though. But where? I turn my attention to Smith's desk in hopes of finding clues there. Luckily, this isn't the kind of desk that locks, so I can rummage through the drawers with ease. Between all the bits of paperwork, office supplies, booze, and even a few plushies resembling the girls, there's a keypad in the bottom right drawer. I don't know what the code is, nor what will happen if I try and keying something in. The keypad does appear to have power though, confirming that the office and server room might be a different power grid than the rest of the club. It's time to call in Zero. I text her the code phrase, and moments later she pulls herself out of the phone in classic Ghost Fusion fashion. It's even more tacky than I remember it. Give me 1 second. I don't suppose you know the code to this keypad, which I'm guessing leads to the server room. No, but I could possess it and find out. Her eyes flicker to where the plushies are. Also, you want to keep these safe. Should something happen to the bodies of Frenni, Vexa, Chiku, and Bonfi, these plushies are Smith's way of keeping their souls around. Mary's anchor is her entire animatronic body. Where is she, by the way? She's got cold feet. I see. Can you do your ghost hacking thing while I go hide those plushies somewhere safe? Of course. I smile, grab the plushies, then sprint out of the office to stash them behind one of the vent grates in the hallway. While I return to the office, I don't see Zero. but I do hear a sound of the beeping coming from the keypad. Moments later, there's a loud click, followed by parts of the wall to the right of Smith's desk sliding open to reveal a spiral staircase down. That is as far as it can go at the moment. Be careful in there. Right, onwards I go. The staircase spires down to 2 stories before the wall resides and opens up in a large room. 3 rows of server racks take up the middle of the room. Embodying to the left wall are myriads of inobtrusible power supplies acting as big batteries. The right wall has a similar setup to the security room, where there's screens or every camera feed. All the feeds are dark and the cooling systems for the servers are off. It's only a matter of time before the battery backup runs out on the servers get too hot. The hair on the back of my neck stands up as I reach the bottom of the stairs. The sensation isn't as sinister as or oppressive as when Mary is nearby, but it's still not a fun feeling. Looking up, I notice the ceiling is covered in glyphs. They must be the source of this feeling and what's keeping Zero out. I definitely don't have the way to get rid of all of these. It's only a matter of time before the power comes back or the battery backups run out. I have to be quick with my server access. Gaining access to the server is as simple as using a terminal built in one of the server racks. First, I reset all the admin accounts and slave them to the new account that I create and control. That's the easy part. The hard part is to combine through the massive amount of data that stores on these servers. Even the girls that I've freed are still connected to these servers. I have direct access to all the girls' stored memories, as well as the protocols and locks that shackle them to the servers. I also see an encrypted folder labeled Smith's Eyes Only. Cliché perhaps, but I'm still going to question his choices of file management. Copy what I can for now and pray I will be enough to down the line. With time ticking by way too fast before the batteries run out, all I can do is try to subvert the shackles on all the girls. I do what I can, but it's like the code is changing from moment to moment, like it's polymorphic or something. Every attempt I make at true freedom is being blocked or otherwise overridden. With more time, I might be able to figure out a way past this watchdog program, but for now, the girls will have to remain connected to the servers. I'm about to rush back upstairs when I hear shouting. There's the sound of someone hurrying down the stairs. I dive for cover behind the nearest server rack and watch as Mr. Smith rushes into the server room. He doesn't appear to be carrying any weapons aside from his phone. Mr. Smith, I know you're down here, kid. We need to talk. There's still a way for you to walk out of here in one piece. I remain silent and hidden as I hit the record button on my phone. I also ready my revolver just in case. Smith doesn't seem to mind my lack of engagement. In fact, he monologues like a classic villain without any input. I know what you're thinking, kid. Why'd I do it? Why I catch your souls and stuff them into animatronics bodies? Why couldn't I just make my partner make really good AI to run the bodies instead? The answer's simple. AI doesn't have the humanity required for this line of work. An AI could intrusively know when a customer is about to shell out the big bucks, much less how best to fleece their wallets. Only a woman knows that, especially a woman in her prime. I'll be frank with you, kid. We're on the brink of a freaking revolution in the entertainment industry. Can you imagine an entertainer that doesn't need to sleep, eat, or have other material needs? One that only needs to recharge every so often? One that will always give their best performance until you decide to sideline them? I'd fucking put Vegas out of business. It wouldn't just be the nightclubs seeking these girls out, it'd be the entire freaking industry. And I'd be at the center of it all. I'd go down in history as a revolutionary. But it doesn't just have to be me. Join me, kid. You obviously have more kicking around in that school than I thought you'd have made. Than I thought to have made it all the way down here. You could be my right hand, the bouncer, the protector of all the girls. Hell, I'd even let you fuck them, if that's what it would take to bring you over to my side. I need smart people like you, full of determination and spirit. Barwell doesn't have the stones to be more than a puppet. What I need is strong business partner for when the investors come. I remain silent. The more I let Smith talk, the more dirt I have on him. And boy, does he seem ever in the talkative mood. Nothing? Come on, kid. I'm offering you the deal of a lifetime here. Why, you don't want to fuck the animatronics? How about getting an immortal body, learning the secrets of magic? I can show you how deep this rabbit hole goes. We could be freaking fucking invincible. Join me. Together we would rule. Again. I let silence peak for me. Smith waits, then snarls. Alright, fine. You had your shot. If you won't listen to me, listen to reason, then I'll just have to stuff you into an animatronic to keep you quiet. You're too valuable to simply kill off. I might not have my main girl at hand thanks to your girls guarding her in the freezer, but I still have an ace up my sleeve. Smith pulls out a shotgun that he was somehow hiding on his persona. Oh gosh. Say hello to my little friend. I take a deep breath, then I leap out of a corner, line up a shot, then squeeze the trigger. Smith knocks back, the bullet shattering his inverted rosary, but not piercing his skin. That's the best you got, kid? All this, and that's the best you got? Sadly, that is all I got left. All I can do is fire off a few wild shots at Smith advances on me. Don't worry, this won't hurt nearly as much as it should. The shotgun comes up. Hoping my body armor will hold, I lunge at Smith as he fires. I feel something slam into my chest, but it's not enough to stop my momentum. Nice. I collide with Smith and knock the shotgun from his grip as he grappled. I managed to get him in the chokehold and knock him out. Yeah! Panting, I check myself. My body armor is toast, but I'm alive. Time to drag this bastard upstairs. Fuck yeah. I depose Smith in the office chair before smacking him awake. The whole time I keep the shotgun trained on him. Now then, Smith, you're going to do two things for me. First, you're going to sign over the club to me. Then, you're going to tell Maria to power down. And why should I do that? Oh, I'm not asking. I'm just telling you what's going to happen next. As Zero possesses Smith, his eyes flutter, his body spasms, and then he mutters. I will sign the business over to Josh Black. Possessed Smith lurches, pulls out official paperwork, then begins writing. Now what? Tell Maria to power down. Possessed Smith pulls out his phone and dials with shaking fingers before putting the call on speaker. You alright, Mr. Smith? I'm still stuck in the fridge. Everything's fine, sweetie. Thank you for alerting me earlier. Now then, I need you to power down. Are you sure? You're not being forced to say that, right? You sound weird. I'm just fine, just tired. The sooner you go to sleep, the sooner I can, impulse the building to knock the other animatronics out. Alright, I'll see you in a bit then. Moments later, I get a text from Frenni confirming Mary has shut herself off. Now what? Now you're going to go check on Mike at the bottom of the river. Despite the possession, I can hear the fear in Smith's voice, and the trembles of his body as Zero forces him to speak. Yes, of course. Could you see him to the river, Zero? Of course. Come along, Mr. Smith. Dang. With that taken care of, I go to sit at what's now my desk to check the paperwork. Everything is in order. I'm now official owner of Frenni Fazclaires, not club. Oh, huh. That's weird. His legal name isn't actually Smith, it's Afton. Yep. The rest of the night is a bit of a blur. With only Mary left shackled and powered down, I gather everyone else in my new office by the time Smith's been permanently dealt with. They came clean about everything. The girls listen intently, only asking a few clarifying questions here and there. The presence of Zero helps the rest accept what happened. Quite the intricate tale, Mr. Black. If I were not an active participant, I'd think it was all bad fanfiction. All I care about is the nightmare is fucking over for good now. That and we can finally fuck. I only really followed some of that, but I do like the thought of not being under Smith's control anymore. I've got just one question. What's ghosts like? I could show you. We all could go at Josh at once. Just as I'm about to set my fate and break rule number 1, I get a phone call from an unknown number. Given the night's event, I'm worried but still answer. On the other end, it's a woman's voice. Special Agent Kotoa. Good evening, Mr. Black. My name is Special Agent Kotoa. I understand you've dealt with Mr. Apton. Special Agent for who? How do you know what happened here? Let's just say we've had our eyes on you since you started poking around looking for paranormal information. As for how we know, a weather control ritual required one of us to keep an eye on you. That sort of thing is highly regulated, after all. Am I in trouble? Hardly, Mr. Black. You've saved us the trouble of dealing with Mr. Afton ourselves. There was a lot of red tape there that you neatly avoided. Am I correct in guessing you know the truth of his staff and that you had him sign over the club to you? Yes, to both. Good, you can keep the club and the girls. As long as you don't create another unwilling animatronic or mess with this weather again, you won't have to worry about another call from us. Phone call from me. What if I need to call you about another Afton situation? I will send you a business card that you can use for such purposes. For now, enjoy your victory, and try not to end up with a broken pelvis. Even with magic, that's a hard thing to fix. So, who was that? From the sound of it, the magical cops. Look, there's magical cops? Apparently. But that as it may, perhaps we should wrap things up for the night. After all, 6:03 a.m. Huh, so it is. I've made it to day 13. I've got one day before the investors show up, and I have to either snub them or convince them to work with me. One day in which I'll likely break Rule 1 several times. There's also the matter of Professor Barwald. So many loose ends, so little time. I'm quite confident I can handle things though. Well, maybe not the new stains I'm going to leave in the VIP booth with the girls, but that's what my magical cleaning touch is for. And we got the good end, guys! Whoa! It's been a week since I freed the girls and took over the nightclub. I was able to delay the investor meeting for the time being, but eventually I have to face them. One, Miss Diablo is rather keen to get me at the conference room table ASAP. As well, the girls' happiness is what matters to me, and right now I have a backlog of meetings. Zero is still going over the club with a fine-toothed comb, and likely will be for some time. That means I have time to focus on the main cast of the club. Alrighty, guys. We got the good ending. That is a Fortnight at Frenni, Fazclaires. These are scenes that I cannot show you guys. That's the most I can show you. If you guys want to see just a tiny bit, fine, but I can't show you much. Nice, nice. We're gonna get to the part. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit that out. You can only get to this. she's in her little maid outfit. We're just gonna get to the part where it shows a little bit of things. That's all I can do. We'll go to Frenni next. And then the main fort. Oh gosh. Okay, that one's cute. Okay. Well, that's the game, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. That took me a while, but there's the game. Till next time, you guys. Well, make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out a lot. These games will be monthly, by the way. Especially this one was a little more. This wasn't bad. This one wasn't really bad. But yeah, till next time, you guys.